Oh, your brother? Oh, okay. Hopefully this works the way it's supposed to. Testing. Testing. Alright, well, in that case, I'm gonna get started. Let's just practice today for 7-8 golden. So this is because I'm doing golden again, but specifically for saving runs I do for my YouTube. And so it doesn't have any kind of commentary or me talking over it, because I know not everybody likes that, especially on YouTube. I did go back though. See, I got the stamp. I went back and got the regular strawberries over the weekend. I stopped being lazy about it. uh, but yeah, it's time to start practicing 7A Golden again properly this time, since it's actually the whole stream instead of me just randomly getting here. Sorry, I was reading a Discord notification. And today, unlike Hollow Knight, today will actually be completely chilled because this is literally just practice. So my brain's in practice mindset. It's not in, oh, I gotta do this now, Whereas Hollow Knight, it's a little different because Hollow Knight can, say wonderfully brilliant masterpiece of a game, but it can be a little tilting. Whereas this, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm more used to standard platformers. This is still brutally difficult, obviously. But, I don't know, I don't feel the same for about it usually as I do certain boss fights in Hollow Knight. And actually, really, in yesterday's case, it wasn't, the boss fight was, a little frustrating, but, it was more that, it was just, the run back to the boss fight was annoying. And on top of that, it was just needlessly annoying because you had to fight things before you fought the boss, which just draining your health or your resources to use have the health. And I know they do that, it's a challenge thing, but sometimes it feels a little trolly, and I was just not having it yesterday. But we made it through it all. It's fine, but I just and then I realized, looking around, watching some, because I watch a lot of Celeste and Hollow Knight stuff on YouTube, and I realized I think there is a boss I never even touched in my Hollow Knight playthrough that was supposed to be used to get to a certain area, but I just went a different way, so I may have to find them again. I think it's the Mantisaurs. Pretty sure I didn't fight them, unless I'm forgetting I did. I don't know. It's a possibility. It could have happened. Yeah, I know what I did wrong there. I just mistimed my dash the way an angle. Normally, if you just do it, the trampoline will basically take you through it as long as you dash appropriately. But anywho, that's not really that big a deal. It's early. Yeah, it's just I missed some. I know I'm missing bosses on Hollow Knight because obviously it's a big game with a lot of bosses, and it's very easy to get lost, especially for me. But realize that, it's one of those things that I know I'm going to have to eventually go back and do, because I do want to get all the bosses. I want to get 112%, all that stuff, eventually on my Hollow Knight file. I want to do all the Pantheons, which is why I'm saying I'm going to just have to learn to do it chill. I think it's less grating to me when I'm in a boss gauntlet, because I like those, than it is whenever it's like, oh, you come through this really difficult area, or just this area with annoying ways to get hit before you get to the boss, and then it's like, oh, now you gotta fight this ridiculously stupid boss. Like Cloth, I feel bad for him now. He didn't seem like he was doing much, and then he died in the end trying to get you through it, which turned out it was necessary because I got the other half of the white mask, I think it was. I don't know, I kind of looked up some stuff, not like anything spoilery or anything that would like let me know too much. It was just, there's something I was looking for yesterday that I did kind of off stream. I think it was, I want to say, damn, I don't even remember. I have to look at my save file on Hollow Knight, because it's literally, where I'm saying, oh yeah, I just basically went back and found that little, creepy, scraggly dude in the mushroom place who has all the fragile charms. Because I remembered I had forgotten about him, so Longlegs or whatever his name is. I went back and bought his charms. Not really so much because I plan on really using them, but because they are fragile and apparently if you die you lose them. But I just wanted to have them, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what else I could spend money on, or Geo on in Hollow Knight. I got once I get the rest of the charms, I can get the blessing from the one lady, charm lady, that sells the charms. I'm just trying to figure out what things I'm missing, because according to my save file, we went from 79%, now we're at about 88%. So we are making progress in Hollow Knight. It's hard finding or realizing what you've missed or what bosses are left and stuff, because, you know, they're all really well hidden. I just realized I could put markers on the map, so I did for one of the things, because I found another one of those Dreamer Ghost Challenge things, and I was like, oh, let's just go over there and, you know, I need to remember where this is, because I realized it doesn't mark it on your map, which means I may not have gotten the thing I thought I got yesterday. Because there's this area where it's like, I'm pretty sure I beat this Dreamer dude I found one time, but I think I didn't, so I'm going to go back and get it checked out. I know that doesn't make any sense if you're not seeing it in context, but trust me, it'll make sense when I go back and do it, so. There we go. Like, right now, it's like, what is this gobbledygook he's just talking about right now? You know? It's like, yeah. I mean, y'all who are super familiar with Hollow Knight probably know what I'm talking about, even if I'm terrible at explaining it. But, yeah. I've got some stuff I gotta do. I still have to do the third Coliseum thing. I just haven't touched it yet because I don't feel ready to do it just yet. I mean, there's not much else I can do besides find the final health fragment thing. Once I get that, I guess I can do stuff. But, you know, it doesn't really matter. It's only going to give me an extra hit out of it, maybe, depending on the boss. So, really, feasibly speaking, I could probably go Burby? Nice to meet you. I'm trying to, like, see how to pronounce names. Everybody on Twitch has a name I seem to have trouble processing. And I want to make sure, because sometimes it pops up on my PlayStation a little weird, so it doesn't tell me exactly how, like, the capitalization and stuff is. So, like, I was calling somebody Nikiad at one point, and they were really kind about it. Okay, cool. Thank you. But I went back later and watched my VOD thing, and it showed their name in the chat. It was like, oh, it's actually Nikki AV. And I was like, oh, okay. So then I was like, apologize. I was like, I'm sorry. They're like, no, it's fine. I was like, okay, but it's just like, I'm playing on PS5, so it doesn't always give me that context. And if I don't look over at my phone, it's like, well, how are you today? I hope you're doing alright. I'm just doing golden practice for 7A. It's just a practice day. I'm not like hardcore chasing it right now, because I only just got here toward the end of the last stream for the goldens, so I'm just kind of still trying to learn it. And I was like rambling about Hollow Knight because that's the other game I play on Mondays and Wednesdays, so, and it's like my first playthrough, so I'm still of that game, so I'm still like learning that. Yeah, today's pretty chill so far. It's only just really started for me. I had breakfast, you know, drinking coffee. Nothing too crazy, just doing this practice for this, so. Let's see. Nah. Okay. Trying not to do that. Hold up. There we go. Make sure you actually jump at the right time. I do stuff sometimes. I don't mean to. It happens. Boop. Doop, 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 doop. Alright, do that. Yeah, there we go. I don't know why I would think that. Maybe because it's just easy to. I don't know. Also been trying to do 7A Golden recently. Oh, you skipped 5 and 6A? Oh, okay. Are you, like... I'm just... I don't know. I know they recommend you do C because that's the quickest. But what I'm doing is I'm just doing it in order from A through C. So I've done the Dashless Golden and then 1 through 6. I recently completed 6. I was on it for quite a while. And now I'm at 7. But I figure the reasoning for that, for me at least, is I want to get these ones out of, like, done and everything whenever I eventually get to them, or get them finished. And then I want to have C to be kind of a buffer for whenever, you know, between Seaside and Farewell. So that hopefully I can, you know, just kind of have a bit of a buffer before I start practicing things like Farewell, which are going to be absolute crazy bananas. And it's like, you know. Yeah, it is. Learning the neutral jumping was kind of wild at the end, but it was really cool. I agree, Dashless is fun. I haven't touched the B-sides for Goldens, mostly because, you know, I'm doing it in order, but, like, I now also remember how long and difficult they were the first time through. I mean, I've done Farewell since, but I haven't really touched, not Goldens, just done Farewell in general. I haven't really touched the B-sides in a while, so that's why I'm just relearning everything as I go. Because some of these A-sides a little trickier than I was expecting. Like 6A took me quite a while. So far 3A and 6A were the ones that have taken me the longest. 6A was surprisingly longer than 3A, but I think it was just because I'd get to the boss fight, and I just had a lot of trouble at the boss fight of 6A, so... Kind of a similar thing happened in 3A with Oshiro, like, the boss fights are what took me a while and took me the longest. In this level, obviously, the boss is basically the mountain itself, so... It's really not actually a boss, but I don't know, it still gives that vibe. Have you done all the B-sides and stuff, or... For Goldens, I mean? Season. Just completed them in general, that's fair. What Goldens do you have so far, just out of... All C? Okay, cool. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I liked 8. I liked 8C, because I wasn't like... I don't hate them, but I'm not the biggest fan of 8A and B. But 8C I liked a lot more. I don't know, I just felt like it had a better flow to it. But I haven't done any of the Seaside Goldens, it's just like talking about 8 in general. I would say my favorite level, even though it's really freaking hard, is still probably Farewell. But, we'll see if I still feel that way when I eventually go for Golden. I got you. My favorite base game is probably 7B, maybe 7C. No, I think it's 7C barely, just because that last screen is kind of cool. But I think I really like the length of 7B. Yeah! Farewell's awesome, right? Absolutely brutal, but I mean, it was just so cool. And it was fun learning it and trying to get through it. It was just, it's ridiculous, but I love it. So yeah, like, Farewell's like my favorite overall. I mean, I just was shocked at some of the stuff they wanted you to do, and that you were capable of doing that one. It was like some of the best level design and platforming games I've ever like played. I was really impressed with it. It was hard though, that's for sure, but I like that. I mean, obviously you're not playing Celeste if you don't like some form of challenge, but... I think I could probably play Celeste like just forever, even if I weren't streaming it. Like, I just love this game so much. I want to, at some point in time, eventually get another gaming laptop or PC so I can do all the user-created levels people be doing. I didn't mean to do that. But, yeah. Because people got some crazy stuff they created out there from what I've seen. Yeah. Every time I watch people do the mod levels, I'm like, oh, I'm kind of a little bit jelly because I don't have a gaming PC anymore. Because all the ones I've ever had, I've always had bad luck with them. Something always happens to them. And so, like, yeah, it kind of put me off doing that, even though there are obviously advantages to PCs. Their gaming, just in terms of even just user-created levels, which is really what I'm interested in when it comes to Celeste here. So hopefully someday I'll be able to do that again, but for now it's not in the cards. When I first played Celeste a while ago, I got through the base game, skipped forward with assist mode, and I tried for one. I couldn't even get past like the 7th room or whatever it was. It happens. That's wild, though. Yeah, it's just a testament to that level and how crazy it is. It's awesome, though. You gotta remember. I was half reading the comment, and then I was like, oh yeah, that's right, I have stamina. Whoops. I should probably wait till I'm on solid ground before I go. Okay, there we go. Yeah, Farewell is its own level of insanity. I like that, though. I do appreciate that. At least with this game, I do. As I was explaining earlier, I don't get nearly as salty with Celeste because I do. As much as I love Hollow Knight, I tend to get a little more tilted with Hollow Knight. Picked it back up, stopped at the hard door. And finished it with a 10-hour session, which is fun. Oh, that's awesome, though. It's always awesome to hear, like, people overcoming things they couldn't before. Like, it's always cool, especially in games like this. I'm glad you had fun along the way, too. Yeah, believe me, I wouldn't go after Goldens if I wasn't having fun with Celeste. I always tell people, like, it's cool if you want to do that for the challenge, obviously, but, like, you should not be going out of your way to do Goldens unless you actually really love the game, because then you're just setting yourself up for rage. And there's just no sense in that. I mean, some level of rage, yes, because, I mean, we all have some level of salt in certain games. Like I said before, like, I get Hollow Knight, like, that game just... I love it, but it also sometimes pisses me off. But it doesn't make me love it, so, like... It's so weird, because usually with, like, Celeste and stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, it's super chill, you know, whatever, and then I go to Hollow Knight, and I'm like, just cussing at the storm, because I'm like, some of the bosses, the runbacks, they get me a little tilted. Maybe I'm just less patient with that, I don't know, but I still love Hollow Knight, it's still a great game. I just notice I tend to be saltier with it for some reason that I don't quite understand. Like, there's no reason for me to be, I don't think, other than the occasional troll, but... I mean, it was weird. Like, I was angry at the Path of Pain, then I get to the end of Path of Pain, I get ambushed, I'm so shocked by it, I don't react in time, but then at the same time, it's like... I don't know, like, whenever I actually got ambushed, I stopped being angry because I thought it was so funny that the devs would troll you like that. So, I have a very weird relationship with Hollow Knight. Like, I really enjoy it, but at the same time, I'm like, oh no, I can go better way than that, yeah. It's just funny, some of the stuff that happens with that. I could have gone another way too, because I could go the other way and not have to deal with this, but this isn't like a terrible thing, really. On here, I think I've made it just past, well, I'm dead there, but I want to say I made it almost to, I was like right before the little dust bunny, the Oshiro part. But like I said, I only just got to 7A Golden toward the end of my last stream, which was on like Thursday for Celeste, so I'm still fairly new to coming back at this for Golden, so I might as well just be starting now. But yeah, that was probably the furthest I got. I know Oshiro's part's gonna be a pain because, you know, Oshiro's world is always a pain. You know, when I don't do stupid stuff sometimes, they're just like, whoops. Like earlier. I'll probably go the other way next time I get there, because, yeah, I'm still mapping out how I want to take each area. I just kind of play through until I decide on a path that I like most, and then I go from there. I'm not as concerned about dying right now, just because I'm still learning it, but as I get later and I start practicing more, I'll start to be more... as I get more consistent is when I start to, like, actually worry about, oh, crap, I died, or whatever. I find with most of these, 6 being a pretty good example, it isn't really that big a deal or disheartening in dying or restarting until you get to the point where you actually realize you can do it. Like, you're at that point where you're just short of completing the whole thing, and then you realize, oh, and you're consistently getting back there. It's like, that's when it starts to be like, oh shit, can't believe I died right here, you know, so on. I did that. But yeah, so the early parts, I don't sweat it because I'm just going to have a lot of things like you just saw where I kind of just mess something up. It's like, that's a part of Golden and learning levels, so I don't worry about that as much as I do when I start getting close. Like when I start getting close to doing them, and then it's like, with Celeste, I just kind of want to do the Goldens. Well, I mean, if that's what you want to do, go for just the Goldens, it's fine. That's pretty much the hardest base game challenge, I'm pretty sure, if you're not doing speedrunning and such. So, yeah. It's also a pretty cool challenge to go to, because, I mean, you're going to be on it a while no matter what, so you'd be surprised how fast time passes whenever, even when you're just practicing it like I am right now. Like, I know there are plenty of times I'll be playing Celeste and doing that, and it's like, oh. You just really want to do them? Oh, well, I mean, if it's just because you really just want to do them, I mean, that's reason enough, isn't it? You don't even have to be like, oh, I want to beat the challenge thing. It could just be you find them fun, or you just feel like doing them. Nothing wrong with that. Put a spill coffee on myself, that'd be great. Okay, I'm good now. I want to make sure. Coffee. Alright, I love coffee, but coffee loves me a little too much sometimes. Yes. I didn't realize how full I had my mug, and then I was like, oh. It was cool coffee, it wasn't anything hot, it's not disastrous. You would hear a much different reaction then, because I'd probably be screaming, man. I keep thinking, like, you know, I'm a long ways off from it, obviously. I'm still in 7A Golden, but I keep thinking about how absolutely bananas it's going to be trying to Golden Farewell. Because that level on its own, even just when I go back and play it on other files just for funsies, it's like, it's already brutal enough, and you die, like, so much. Just the idea of thinking about, oh yeah, just being consistent and getting a golden out of that, especially towards some of the later areas in the level. Really any area in that level, everything's out to kill you in that level. But yeah, it's just kind of wild. Whee! I like the movement in this level. Even when I die, you're like, I like the movement in this level. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you meant. I know you meant gold. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely not a lot of people. It's a bit like, I don't know, it's just one of those things. Like, I am nowhere near doing so, but I also, off-screen, I've been working on Crypt of the Necrodancer. It's a bit like that, you know? Like, I mean, more people have completed Golden Farewell than that, but just, like, thinking about people who have Plat and Celeste, it's literally a handful of people, and that's kind of cool. But I don't know. Just challenges like that, I kind of enjoy them. Especially, like, it has to be a game I enjoy, though. I'm not going to sit here and do a challenge on a game I hate. That would just be silly. That would just be dumb. You know? I'm not out here trying to be enraged. But I do like challenge runs, and I do like really hard games, so... I don't know. Oh, yeah, outside of when I'm not streaming presently, I might wind up streaming at some point. I've been working on Crypt of the Necrodancer, like trying to get the plat on that, so I've been at that for a long time. I'm still really far away. But yeah, I was just saying, like, it kind of makes me think of stuff like that, like whenever you're talking about, oh, only so many people have done Farewell Golden, and it's like, yeah, a lot more people have done Farewell Golden, but it's still not a large amount of people compared to how many people played the game. Whereas, I think the plat for Crypt has, like, maybe 20 people have done it. But to be fair, that plat is absolutely crazy. I mean, I suppose we're lucky they didn't make Golden's a requirement for Plat and Celeste. I mean, yeah, people would be able to get it, I think, because they still have assist mode, but, like, I don't know. I don't know how assist mode works with Golden's, I don't know. I would assume it's still allowed for people who want to do that, but I don't know. No, I'm not going to judge anybody who's doing that. That's their business. Play the game how you like, but I don't know. For me, I wouldn't, just because, you know, I like the challenge of it all, but I also understand everybody's situation is different, so I don't get people who are, like, mad clowning on people who choose to use assist mode. It's like, what if they just really like the story, or they just want to, like, see, you know, see that stuff, and maybe they just aren't good at platformers. What's wrong with that? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Oh yeah, they just did the DLC full release for the latest DLC, so there may actually be one involving the 100% that's not complete. Because there's the plat and then there's the 100%, and I think the 100% has even less people than the plat. And then if you're on PC, then yeah, there are probably a few achievements for the thing that aren't actually done yet. I know there were, because obviously PC is, you have to do them all to have the 100%, so. Whereas PlayStation, there's a plat and there's 100%, so there's a difference. But yeah, there's definitely some stuff from the DLC I'm pretty sure that some people haven't done yet, but I haven't, like, really looked hard at that list, because I was more concerned with just trying to get the plat itself at the moment, so, and that's still gonna be, like, years away for me, probably. But I'm just trying to get the daily challenge one out of the way, because that's the only online required, like, trophy on the PlayStation Platinum list for the game, so yeah. Even though I know they're probably not shutting servers down anytime soon, since their latest DLC was multiplayer based for the most part, I just released, I still want to get that out of the way, because I don't want to get locked out of a plat because, whoops, you didn't get the daily challenge one done before they closed down servers. Plus they were coming out with Rift of the Necrodancer for too long, I think. Which looks like a fun nod to, like, Guitar Hero and stuff back in the day. Just in style. I don't know how the game plays, obviously. I haven't played the demo, because again, I'm not a PC player right now, so can't really try out all the beta stuff and all that they had, like, recently. I like the soundtrack in this game, it's pretty chill. My favorite music, probably, in this game, I really like a lot of the stuff in Farewell, but I think my favorite tracks are probably 7B side. That song had me so amped, I just wanted to fly up the mountain, it was amazing. Obviously B and C sides are pretty much the same tracks, but it's just cool. Farewell has a lot of really good ones, though. Oh, well, I mean, you can always try, you never know. I don't know what your situation is, so for all I know, maybe you can't, but you could try. And eventually, if it turns out it's just not happening, I mean, you can still play the level for freaking fun. I mean, there's always that, nothing else. I think it's gonna take a lot of practice. I know some of the people who did it, it took them years of just kind of messing around with it. And everybody's different. They have different situations. They have different. Like, I do things a lot slower than a lot of people. Yeah. There's the skill ceilings can be different. But I'm really stubborn, and if I like a game, I'm stubborn enough to keep going. So. Even with Hollow Knight, which I actually get more tilted at, I still like that game a lot. So, like, I still love that game. So I'm just like, yeah, even when I feel myself getting a little error, I'm still like, no, but this game's still amazing. So it's worth it. You know, practice. You'd be surprised how your skill ceiling can change over time with just consistent practice. I've noticed that with my journey in Crypt of the Necrodancer. A lot of it was, in the beginning, it was like, how they expect me to even do the simplest thing, completing the zones and stuff, and now I'm pretty decent. Like, I'm pretty consistent. I just need to get the last little bit down for consistency-wise for that daily challenge trophy. It's a little frustrating because we're past the years where people would post like, oh yeah, look at this is the daily challenge for today, because that one's obviously a hard set seed. So, and they would like post and be like, oh, here's what you can expect, and blah blah blah. And people would use that, but now people don't do that anymore. So I'm just kind of blindly, alerting them, because obviously every time it changes because it's a roguelike. But a lot of like the enemies and strats, that stuff stays the same, like boss strategies and stuff. So that helps. But sometimes you just have a bad run, and you start off right off, and it's like ends, and you're like, ugh. And then you're sad because it's like, now I gotta wait 24 hours before I can try the next one. And it's gonna be different, so yeah. It's its own beast, but I still love the game. But I don't stream a lot of them. I do occasionally play things a little more chill. Usually in my free time, if I want to kind of wind down, I'll play something like Stardew Valley, or I've been playing Cyberpunk recently. That's been pretty fun. There we go. I like to play a lot of fighting games. Yeah, it is, but it's okay. I like that challenge. It's fun. In my opinion, it's actually pretty, like stuff like this where I'm having to repeat stuff over and over again, it's pretty relaxing for me. It's a little different because I come in knowing, hey, if you die, you start over with the golds. Whereas, something like Hollow Knight, I think it's a little different, because just like, I don't know, the way they set up certain boss fights and stuff is kind of, it can get a little frustrating sometimes, but I don't know, I'm at a point now where I'm pretty deep into Hollow Knight, and I'm having to find things to, like, I'm almost having to get to the point where I'm going to have to start looking things up, because I'm like, well, I know I'm missing something, but I don't know what or where, any of the normal stuff you'd be worried about with that. Whereas Celeste, it's like, okay, you repeat something, and it's like, okay, cool. I kind of know going in, hey, you die, you're going to start this level over, so it doesn't really bother me as much. Plus, there's a certain satisfying loop to it. See, so one of the things I do a lot, because I really like permadeath stuff, one of the things I would do early on is, before I had to stop for 3 years because my internet was being funky, I got that fixed since, thankfully, but I would do a lot of Last of Us grounded difficulty whole game permadeath. So I do a lot of repeating, but I kind of like that. I find it kind of almost therapeutic. So if I just keep repeating things, it's like, oh, that's fine, it's chill. But I also grew up with, the NES and stuff, and a lot of those games were, hey, you run out of continues or you run out of lives, you start the whole game over. So, I bet if I had a PC, that would be something I would probably do endlessly, because if I still had a gaming laptop, because it looks like a blast. I've watched a bunch of videos of people just doing that. I watch people who do it streaming wise, and it just looks like a total blast. Plus, people get so creative, like, with their stuff. Like, people get really creative with it. And I have a lot of respect for that. I think it's pretty cool. Some of the stuff people do. So, yeah. There we go. Here we go. That wasn't what I was trying to do. Thankfully I can... Yeah. I remembered that, thankfully. Because I was about to say, I think I'm screwed, and then... Oh, well, no, I did there, but yeah. I was like, yeah, I forgot there's a little thing where you normally grab the strawberry if you didn't already have it. You can use that as a rest if you mess it up there. I'll keep that in mind in the future, because I'm prone to probably messing that up again at some point. I know a lot of people seem to like that strawberry jam, like, lobby list for the modded Celeste stuff. A lot of people recommend starting there. If I ever properly get another gaming laptop, I'll definitely do that, because I freaking love Celeste. It's amazing, and I can't imagine how it could get any, like, how it could be bad to have more levels. Oh, okay. Sweet, sweet. Hey, that's progress. Think about when you started. I mean, that's the way I look at it. Progress is progress, so... It used to be just getting through this level would be a nightmare, and now I'm trying to practice gold, and it's like, yeah, it's still hard, but... After doing farewell, I kind of realized you tend to play the game a little differently, too. You know? A little more calm, or for me, at least a little more calmly, too, just because I'm just used to, you know, repeating. I don't even sweat things like what I just did, where I totally goofed and hit that, because it's just like, it's not a big deal. Plus it's 7. All the 7s are lengthy and full of ways to die, so... Expectations, you know, you gotta set them before you go into something. Whee! I know there's things like Grandmaster lobbies and all that too, so... That just sounds insane. I've seen some of that stuff. I'm like, holy moly, how do you even keep up with knowing where you're supposed to go? But I figure what it probably is like most things. Somebody practices a level of them, they learn the pathing, and then they just get used to repeating, so the reflexes get better at it. And eventually they start doing things that, if you've never played the level before, you're like, how are you even keeping up with this? Which is cool. Whee! I gotta be careful about when I hit skip cutscene, because sometimes you press it too early and it's still retry, and then you retry and you start the whole level over. I've done that on more than one occasion, just on other levels. It's just like, whoops. Because I thought it was a cutscene already, and I hit the button and I was like, oh, nope, it's still retry, my bad. We did that on 6A one time when I was already almost to the boss fight. It was really freaking funny. I was like, wow. That was exceedingly stupid, but also kind of hilarious at the same time. To be fair, by that point, I was used to getting to the boss and dying, so... Yeah, high-level Celeste tech is crazy. But I have a lot of respect for people who can do it, so... Oh yes, ultras, demon dashing, all this stuff was freaking crazy. I was trying to demo dash the other day just for funsies, just this one part, just to see if I could do it, and I was just having no luck. I was like, damn. I mean, I'm sure if I practiced it enough, I'd be able to do it more regularly. I used to not be able to do wave dashing very easily, and now I can pretty much do it without a thought, so, I don't know. Burl kind of ingrains that into you, though, the wave dashing. They kind of like, yeah, you're going to use this, and you're going to learn it, or you're never going to get through farewell. Much less whenever I had to go for Moonberry, that was required there too. Moonberry was an experience. Especially trying to get to the first checkpoint after getting through the final room to make sure you don't have to restart the final room if you die. Yeah. I imagine with enough practice you'll be able to do it pretty consistently and without thinking about it. A lot of Celeste is just training your muscle memory. Eventually it gets it figured out. After a while, you're better off letting your fingers do things than overthinking it with your brain. Yeah, that's what I heard. You can bind it to a button, but I don't know. I like to just actually do this stuff because it's like, I don't know. I like the control scheme. The only time I really changed the control scheme on this was when I was going for dashless, and it was long enough to make sure that I didn't have any button mapped to dashing. That way I didn't accidentally dash. So I basically just turned off dashing for that. I just remapped my controls so there was no dash button during the dashless golden. That way I didn't accidentally get to the end and dash like a nincompoop. Because I know me, I would have accidentally dashed at the end out of excitement if I had that, so I made a point not to, and it worked out. Yeah, exactly. It's like, I can't take any chances, and I've seen videos of people like, oh yeah, excited, and then they accidentally do it, and they're like, whoops. And I'm like, I cannot let myself, because I know myself, I would do that. So I just like rebound the controls. I was like, yeah, we're not going to be able to dash at all until the end of this level. And then I fixed it after, but it was like, I don't want to take any chance. Because I would definitely goof it up and accidentally dash at some point. Whoop. Alright. Whee! That's fun. Do that. Boom. I like the space blocks. They're pretty cool. Ooh, almost messed that up. It happens, you know, people mess things up. Especially when you're trying not to hit spikes every 5 seconds. Yeah. Whee! Yeah. Ah, damn. I thought I had already hit the thing, so I kind of let off. Oh well. Almost back there, so that's good. Yeah, the dream blocks, yeah, I know. I don't know what I accidentally said, but I meant dream blocks, my bad. Also half focused on trying to do this, and sometimes I'll hear something in my head, and I'll be saying it one way in my head, and then I'll actually be saying it differently out loud, and I'm like, oh. I'll go back on the bottom, like, oh, well, whoops. Oh, space blocks, thank you, yeah. I meant dream blocks, my bad. I was like, what did I say? Appreciate you. I do like the double dash mechanic though. I really like that in this game. But so much so that whenever I go back to the earlier levels for like B's and C's, I'll forget I don't have it. And then I'll try and double dash and I'll die. I'm like, whoops, that's right, I don't have that now. Have you ever tried just speedrunning, Celeste? I'm just curious. I know not everybody does. I've only done it casually once, so I haven't like seriously done it, and it was only 1 through 7 when I did it. And it was like an hour and 42 minutes, I think. I am just going to assume that expert really is, like, it really makes you feel like an expert. Yeah. Well, the funny thing about speedruns, even outside of this game, is if you're trying to do certain things, I find it's funny because sometimes, even if you're just playing a game normally, speedrun strats will help you with certain bosses and stuff. So on certain plats on games, sometimes I'll look up, like, well, how did the speedrunners do it? Because they're good at breaking, like, things, or, like, finding very easy ways to kind of get through a boss. And I was like, oh. Yeah, I was just curious because I know a lot of people that do, and I know a lot of people who don't speedrun. The only time I speedrun, I do it very casually, and it's always about just beating myself. I don't worry about, like, I'm not out here trying to set world records. The only time I bother with world record stuff is Trackmania. Oh yeah, because the demo dash in 3A is easier for me than actually doing it intended, so I did the demo in 3A Golden. Nice. Whee! I like how they rocket up there. That's kind of cool. I don't know. I just like the way it looks. It's like, woo! Suddenly you're in a whole other area. Bonk. Whee! I actually had to turn off screen shake, but it wasn't for my sake. It was because I didn't even notice it was happening. But somebody was watching me and was like, why do you have screen shake? I was like, I don't know. It's just kind of always been on. But I also went and was reading on the subreddit one time and I was like, man, people really have a problem with screen shake. And I guess for some people it's hard to... I guess they're more easily able to tell where they are whenever without the screen shake. But I don't know, I didn't notice it until people brought it up, and I was like, oh, I guess I could turn that off. And even the person was like, oh, you don't need to turn it. I was like, yeah, but I'm going to if it's going to help. But I was like, I didn't even realize it was a thing until someone was like, oh, hey, why do you use screen shake? I was like, I don't know. It's just kind of on by default, I guess. I don't notice it. And then that's when I discovered there's a large contingent of Celeste players who swear by turning it off completely and who think they don't get how people play with it. And I'm like, I guess just you get really focused, you don't notice it like anything else. But I have noticed since stopping it, it really does kind of help, like, noticing your position in certain places. Like, it does make it a little easier to pinpoint where you're at when things are going, like you're dashing around, because sometimes, I guess, supposedly, I never really noticed that big a difference, but supposedly it can kind of throw some people off. Like, make it harder to tell where Madeline is whenever she's dashing through certain, usually farewell, I think, just because some of the obstacles are very tight. You have tight timings on them, so it helps people with that. Yes. Bump, 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 bump. I like to look like I know what I'm doing. Looking super expert until all of a sudden I die stupidly. That's half the fun though. When I start getting a level down, it's really funny. Like with 6A Golden, I would get really far and I'd go whiz through the level up until the boss fight. And I'd look like I knew, like, wow, they're probably gonna happen, and then I would just die. And I'm like, wow. Eventually, though, I got so used to doing the boss fight, even the harder parts. There was like one room I couldn't consistently do, and I called it like the 50-50 room. And it was just like where you drop in on 6A Golden in the boss fight, where you drop into it's like you drop down, you have to hit the feather, you're steering around, it has this very awkward turn around to get back to her. I don't know how else to explain it. And that room I always called 50-50 room, because no matter how many times I practiced it, it seemed like the steering with the feather was just so crazy that it was really hard for me to do consistently. I got it mostly, like, it was kind of a 50-50 split. It would end a lot of my runs, but it was so deep into the level that I didn't worry about it. Once I got past it, I would be like, oh, maybe I can do this one. And then the last room, the very last room, I died a lot in that because the timing of the lasers with the feathers, if you're even slightly off with it, you're going to either run into the spikes or she's going to laser you right as you're doing the feather. And it's very easy to get stuck in that laser as you get the feather kind of deal, or be forced to where the laser lines up just perfectly enough that you basically are forced to run into a wall or spikes, and it just... so many times I would die in the very last screen, and I was like, ouch. But then I got used to doing it enough that it stopped phasing me. Like, I wasn't even nervous in that point. By the time I finished it, I wasn't really even nervous in the last room. But I noticed you have to kind of throw yourself, well, for me anyway, I kind of had to throw myself into the last room because I couldn't think about it. What the problem was is I would overthink it. And so, I don't know, I found it easier if I just trusted my hands because they knew what they were doing by that point, so... I know it's a weird way to phrase it, but that's just kind of how it is. Your muscle memory develops, and then eventually you're better off just trusting your hands to do it instead of you thinking about it, because then if you start thinking about it, you might overthink something, and then it messes up your flow and everything. That's its own thing. Yeah, so a lot of times, once my hands get kind of used to doing certain areas, to where I'm doing them almost perfectly, like pretty consistently, I just kind of tell myself, hey, don't overthink it, let your hands do it. Like, they know what they're doing. Takes a lot of practice to get there, but you eventually get there. Because sometimes I'll be thinking about it while doing it, and that messes me up, and I'll mess up stuff I wouldn't normally mess up, because my brain's like, oh, I gotta do this at this exact time. Whereas if I'm just like, oh, the hands are just good, it's like, okay, cool. I did not mean to do that. Boom, boom. There we go. Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Gonna take a sip of coffee. Feeling pretty good, actually. Even repeating stuff. It's not really, yeah. It's not really bothering me. Whee! Whoop, whoop. As long as I let my hands do that, it's fine. But, sometimes... I mess that seemingly simple thing up. It's usually when I overthink it. There we go. This part, for example, this part's very easy to mess up because of the angles, especially the downward, upward. This part, very easy to mess up. There we go. There we go. Last time I messed up when I got my... This is a new PB for me. Last time I had kind of slipped up and actually fell into the spikes. That's why I said I got really close, but this part is going to take a lot more practice because, like, so much so that I might have to practice it off stream sometime because these dust bunny things can just frickin' mess me up. Whee! Because the timings. Ah, damn it. I really did and slid. That's okay though, that's a new PB, so that's progress, right? New PB by about 2 screens, so I'll take it. Maybe 3 if you really want to be technical. I already know going in I'll have trouble with Oshiro's area. Just because even in the normal gameplay, I tend to have more trouble with Oshiro's area than most of the stuff that comes after, even. Like the wind in 4 and some of the crazy stuff in some of the other ones. Not 4, I think it's actually 12. No, wind in 4, I'm pretty sure. It's not that important. Point is, there's wind. It happens. Doo-doo-doo. Whoop. Whoops. Good thing I was actually paying attention there. That would have been funny. Just whoops, I missed. Sorry, Battlin'. I just yeeted myself into this fight. Oh my god. Boop. 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 Do this. Over here. I imagine I'll be practicing this level for a while before I feel consistent enough to actually make real attempts at it. Just by the nature of 7 being lengthy and full of death traps. You have to be on point pretty much the whole time. Which isn't a terrible thing if you just think about it rim by rim, but it can still lead to some bad things for you if you're trying to get through it with golden. Whee! But like all levels, practice enough, you'll start to become more consistent. It'll happen. Whee! Honestly, it's not even... It's kind of funny because it's not actually terrible in the early parts, it's just you mess up something silly and you can die. Later on, once you hit to Oshiro's part on, it starts to get really easy to die just naturally. In my opinion, at least for me. Because there's a lot more to keep up with. Dream blocks. Why you gotta be mean blocks? Okay, I'm kidding you. You're actually really cool dream blocks. Whee! That part always makes me nervous for some reason. And I'm not sure why, it just kinda does. I think this would make me more nervous, but this has kind of a flow to it that even if you mess up, you can kind of recover from. Oh. Whee! The amount of times I almost messed that up, it's kind of ridiculous, but it does happen, you know? Now it feels just comfortable doing that. Ah, I thought I had a better angle. My bad. That's another screen I'm a little like, I'll eventually have it. Sometimes it can go really smoothly, and other times I just eat myself into the wall. Because I take an angle too tight. It's okay though. Beauty of practice. This is just that. Not really a whole lot of pressure. Just kind of learning it. Until I start to notice the little intricacies that can get me through a rim 100% consistently. Which happens in most rims eventually. But that takes time, obviously. Time, patience, practice, that sort of thing. And that's actually part of the charm of doing Goldens, I feel like, is just seeing that practice pay off in the end. All the time you put into it, learning it, practicing it, and then eventually, you're like, dang, I did it! And then it feels really freaking good. Like, I was on cloud 9 after I did 6A Golden. Because I worked so long at that, and it just felt really good to do. To finally complete. It made me so happy. Whee! Here we go. No! I messed it up. Oh no! It's not that big deal. It's actually really early in the level, so it's not like it's, oh no, it's gonna take me 7 centuries to get back there. Like, it's not one of those situations, you know? Almost went foot up. Doing, doing. Oh, it feels so good. Feels so satisfying. Alright. There we go. That's cool. Jump there. Oop. Haha, almost messed up. Breathe for a second. Forgot to dash for a second there. Ooh, I was lucky to recover that. There's a lot of places you could totally easily mess up. It's gotta fight. Whee! There we go. Get a lot of that, and then boop, boop. Fly up into the sky. Some water while I'm waiting. Also just looks really cool when you do start flying through it like that. It just looks cool. Almost went too high there. That's okay though, we made it. Not what I was trying to do. I was trying to angle off, but oh well. It happens. We're getting there more consistently, so that's what matters. Because, believe it or not, even consistency is progress. Even if it's not a new PB, it's still... the more consistently you get back there, the more it becomes second nature to do it, and that's still progress in its own way. Because it becomes easier to get further each time, so you do finally start getting it. So that's why you just don't see me squatting along, usually. Because there's no reason to. It's fun. That's the whole idea. It's a fun challenge. That's the case with most games with challenge. I still get a little tilted at Hollow Knight, but again, I still love the game. Even during my more tilted moments. Whee! The soundtrack's super chill too. I think the music helps with Celeste too. It's just such a chill soundtrack. Whee! I just don't really have to think about it. It just feels good. Whee! Oh my god, this game's so fucking amazing. I just want to cut it out. It just feels so good. Womp womp. Whee! There we go. Oh my goodness. Let's get cussing. Coffee's hitting. Tastes good. Got a little creamer in it too. Ah, I should have dashed in. I thought I was going to make it without the dash. That's okay, though. Whee! I chose that risk, and, well, I suffered the consequences. Whee! Something I am noticing about this level is it really requires you to be constantly on top of things. There's not much room for error. There's some, but for the most part, a lot of the places it's like, you mess up, you're pretty much SOL. You're gonna go back to the start, you know. I suppose the strawberry should be a reminder in itself, but I don't know. I've never felt... There's only been one time I really felt the strawberry really pressure. For the most part, I forget it's there, because you're just so focused on trying to be it. Like, you're aware it's there, but you're not, like, always aware, if that makes sense. Like, after a while, you're just kind of like, ooh, bounce, it bounce, it bounce, and then you're just kind of not thinking about it, even though it's constantly following you. I think it more comes up whenever you get close to the end of the level. That's when you're like, oh shit, that's right. I'm almost there. Now I need to make it. I'm actually more nervous about way later when you start hitting the actual final, like 30 meters or whatever of the mountain, because there were too many places, especially for the very end, where you can just accidentally mess something up, and then it's like, you're going all the way back to the beginning, bucko. And considering how long this level is, that would be sad if you were that close, but I expect it to happen at least a few times probably, so just mentally prepare myself for that. Yes, Battlein, we are working together. Together to go after this golden berry. Whee! lucky. It's okay though. Ooh! Keep very barely getting that. I don't know how I feel about that. Keep feeling like I'm gonna be too high and I just make it, but it doesn't make it any less nerve-wracking. Yeah, maybe it's timing on that one. Maybe that would help. If I just time it better instead of overthinking it, you know? There we go, back here. Dang. Thank you. Thank you, Battlein. Alright, here we go. Fortunately, getting through 1500 is it's a rough time. Full of lots of precise, you know. Oop, I got lucky there. Really thought I was going to be done. Thought that was it. I thought curtains were closing. There we go. Back to this place. Whew! Alright, new PB. Oh, this part. I hate this part. Ah! What I'm supposed to do is get closer, dash up, and then counter drop, but I have an actual plan for that part. It's just executing it and timing it is really hard for me. Gabsta, yeah, no, definitely new PB. Nice to meet you, Gabsta. Hope you're doing all right today. Yeah, this is all practice anyway. Like, I just got here for Golden, so that is a new PB. The way I look at it is progress is progress, so I can't be too upset, you know. Whew. I don't know how I made it through that. That was accidental, but it happened. Kind of messed it up, but it worked out that time. What do you know? Whee! Yeah. It's actually, just feels good to have gotten through 6 eggs. Did that at the end of last week, and it was like, got through 6 egg golden, and that felt good because that took me a long time. There's a lot of practice. It would be a lot of, getting close and then messing it up. In the early parts, like right now for 7A, I don't sweat, dying as much because it's early, I'm still learning it. But when you start to get to that point where you do feel like, oh, I can actually do this, I think that to me is where the pressure actually kicks up. Because, you know, before you're just practicing, you're kind of having silly, dumb fun with it. And then once you realize, oh, no, I'm like almost there, I've almost got it down. Oh, no, I can only imagine the nightmare that is 3B Golden. All the B-sides are kind of probably crazy, but, they're such long levels, and then freaking anything with Oshiro is just... It's its own nightmare. I don't envy you. Have you, have you done all the C-sides and all that, or did you start with, like, A's and work your way to B's? Because I'm starting with A's. Oh, C-sides, B-sides, and A-sides. I hear a lot of people recommend C-sides first, because even though they're technically the most difficult, they're the shortest. Yeah, so a lot of people will do that. I'm actually doing it the not so right. I'm doing it A's, then B's, then C's, because I want to have a buffer. Because you get through the really hard A's and then the even harder B's, and longer B's at that. So it's like, you get to C side, you have a little bit of a break because it's shorter, so you get through them a little quicker. And then you can worry about Farewell Gold. So there's like that buffer, so that's kind of why I'm doing it the way I'm doing it. Hey little dude, how are you? Getting hungry? Okay, give me just a moment, guys. I'm gonna get my little dude's breakfast. Yeah, how would you say, if you're still there, sorry if I took a little bit, but how would you say Seasides were? Were they, like most people said, where like they kind of go by a little faster because it's just shorter, so it's easier to get through? Because that's what I hear from everybody. Hmm. Yeah, this. Yeah. Oop. Almost missed a little bird. Nope, I've done messed up. They're so much easier. That's good to know. That's good to hear because that's the plan for me. I'm just kind of thinking after I get through A and B, then I'll have C to kind of have a bit of a wind down before I have to spend ages trying to practice Farewell Golden. So, that's the long-term plan. I'll probably still be on 7 for a while here for 7A. I can only imagine 7B is probably going to be a complete nightmare to try and get through. I like 7B, but I imagine for Golden that's just going to take ages. I say that sometimes, and then I'll go through a few weeks and be like, oh, I got it. Oh, yeah. I don't... 8A and B, I don't love them. Like, they're... As levels, they're okay. Like, they're fun enough, but, like, I never cared for 8A and B, but 8C I really liked. Because to me, 8C feels a lot less, and I know they're not really random, you can learn the patterns, but 8A and B I feel a lot more like random. They just feel kind of like RNG, even though I know they're not. I've seen the patterns, but it's like, I don't know, it just feels that way, and you're trying to get through it all, and it just, I don't like the conveyor belt things that shoot up, because sometimes, yeah, the cycles don't link up the way they should, or maybe the conveyor belt, for some reason, just doesn't seem to yeet you how it should, and I don't like that. The fire, obviously, is a pain. It just feels it doesn't feel very consistent. I'm sure if you stay on it long enough, you can get it, but it's like, ugh. 8A and B are probably my least favorite levels in the entire game. But 8C is, like, totally different. It's like, okay, yeah, the first room or two can be a little more like that, but it's still doable. But that last room in AC, it's fun to run. It feels good. Frickin' 8. Yeah, 8 is definitely overall my least favorite in the game because I just don't. I don't like the theme, I don't like the weird RNG feel it has. It feels wildly inconsistent, even though I know there is a way to get it consistent. Like, I get it's a skill issue on my part, but I just did not enjoy those ones as much. That's why I'm really glad they did Farewell later on, because, like, Farewell is my favorite level in the game. It's hard. Yeah, it's difficult, but at the same time, it's a fun challenge. So, I don't know. Whee! Whoops. Oh, that was lucky. I didn't know if I'd catch on to that in time. That's not normally how I would go about it. I just missed my shot at one point. Ugh, that part always makes me nervous. Ugh, I swear. Like, oh my god. Gotta settle down. Let all this coffee get to me. Ugh. Now that I realize that part's more about timing, that's become a little more consistent for me. Because if you just straight dash through it all, then you're probably gonna eat into a wall. Alright, let's do this. No time to learn like the present, I suppose. Yeah, makes me so nervous. That room, man. That's okay though. The way I look at it is it just lets me practice all the stuff before it, which will just get me more consistent, which in the long run will help, so, you know. It's all good. I made it back to my PB, so that's a good sign. Even on normal playthroughs, that room, I don't know. I have a hard time with timing out those dudes because they're just going back, and then I watch people do it, and then it's like, they do it super consistently, and I'm like, damn, man, I gotta get that because I don't want to just constantly lose my run there, but right now it's less pressing to me because I'm just practicing, but later on when I start doing more serious runs for it, I'm gonna be a little more like, that sucks. I mean, it's not too deep into the level, so that's good, but it still sucks. You get there, like, whoops. Whee! This is fun, this just feels good. The flow. Bom, 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 bom. Whee! Yeah, jump down there. Boom. Boom. That was almost bad. I don't know why I find it so amusing to almost die on things, but it is. It's kind of funny. I have a weird sense of humor about that. Even when I do actually die, it's just kind of like, especially if it's something really silly. It's just like, that's funny. Bum, 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 bum. Dun, 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 dun. The amount of times I've died right here is funny too, like, just because I dashed wrong or I jumped too soon. Whee! I used to be one of those people who always held the grab button because I was so paranoid about not grabbing or something, but I don't know, as you get used to it, I've actually found it easier just to kind of let off of it whenever you don't need to be grabbing. Thankfully, I can't die there. Unless I just yeeted in the spikes, I guess. That's highly, highly, highly unlikely. Woo! That was almost bad. Bonk, 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 bonk. Let's do this the right way. Woo! There we go. That's more like it. That's not supposed to do it, mostly. I mean, I had a little slip up, but nothing that was going to ruin the whole entire run over it. Oh, there we go. Make sure I actually have this set up the way I want it. Or not. Oh well. That time I should have... I was trying to straight edge, but I accidentally, I diagonaled it into oblivion. That's okay. Whee! Womp, 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 womp. I mean, I figure eventually I'll hit a point where it's like, oh, it's not, I don't have to think about it, and then I'll be like, oh, I'm almost to the top. And, you know, it's a progression. So, best thing you can really do is be patient about it. I wish I could follow that advice with Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight, it tilts me more for some reason. I don't understand it yet, quite why it does, but I mean, I know some instances, but like some of the runbacks on bosses can be, but some of the other stuff, I'm not quite sure why it tilts me more, but it does. I love Hollow Knight, don't get me wrong, but ooh, does it have some moments where it's just clearly trying to make you salty, and it works. It succeeds a lot of times, so it's like, no. I have to like disclaimer people and tell it, I swear I love Hollow Knight. It just, some parts of it make me really tilted. Whee! Yes. Right there. Yeah, no problem, little dude. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Little dude. growing up, starting to become a big dude. Makes me feel old, but also kind of bittersweet because I still remember when he used to ball a pudge. And now he's gonna be a teenager before long. And it's just like, dang, where did the time go? That's parenting. There's always a lot of where did the time go. Actually, probably should have. There we go. Wee bonk. Whew. Water, water. Feeling pretty good, Madeline. I'm feeling pretty good. Practice and all. Sevens tend to be some of my, like, the levels I like most anyway, so that helps too, with, like, just being chill even whenever things are wrong. Because I just like the setting and the fact you're just trying to climb that mountain, you know? There we go, we got it that time. Hey, little dude. Hang out. Grabbing your Switch? Oh, that's fine. What you gonna play? A Minecraft? Oh, I got you yesterday, huh? Oops. My bad. Ran into the wall. It's supposed to go up, not diagonal. Oh well. It happens. He is 11. Gonna be 12. In another... Let me see, what is it? It's July still, so... About a little over a month, he'll be 12 again. He'll be 12, so, yeah. I still remember when he was just a little dude. Now he's got his own interests, he does his own thing, he's more and more becoming like a teenager who kind of just does his own thing. It just makes me feel happy for him because he's growing up and he's a really sweet kid, but at the same time, kind of bittersweet because you're like, I remember when they were so little, and they needed mom and dad all the time. Yeah, he loves his gaming, so that's cool. I have no doubt. He tends to like to do more chill games, which is fine, which is funny because the first game he ever played was Crash Bandicoot, which obviously is not super easy your first few times through, so but he started to find his interest. He really likes strategy games, so he plays a lot of Advance Wars, a lot of like Risk, stuff like that. Obviously anything Minecraft or creation related he really loves. He plays Fortnite a lot, obviously, because that's just kids, but plays a lot with us, actually. Oh yeah? I love strategy games, so it made me kind of proud that he likes strategy. He even like did chess club and stuff, and I was like, oh, that's why you play Celeste. That's fair, that's fair. You know, there is strategy, maybe not that way, but there's strategy to Celeste. Especially when you start doing Goldens. But even when you're not, even when it's just like, say you're trying to just get through Farewell for the first time, there's strategy involved. It might be more movement-based, but it's still strategy to get through the level. But I get what you mean. You're talking about more traditionally strategic games, yeah. Yeah, but he made me pretty proud. Like, he upped his own volition. Like, he met his teacher that was next door to him at the time. They're like, hey, you ever thought about chess club? And he always really liked strategy, so he joined it, and he loved it. And I was like, yeah, making me a proud parent for sure, because I should say us. He's just a really nice kid. He's very compassionate, and I appreciate that. And I hope he holds on to that, because the world when you're an adult is different. So I'm hoping he can still keep that kind of compassion, caring. Yeah, I mean, I'm his parent, so I'm biased, but yeah, he is actually a really cool kid, a really chill kid, so I'm proud of how he's growing up to be something, so. He's trying to enjoy what's left of his summer vacation, because obviously next month he's going to be back at school. It will be 6th grade, and it's technically because it's 6th grade he has to go to a different school, because Now he's in junior high or middle school, whichever terminology everyone uses. It's different everywhere I go, so he'll be at the school he's going to for another 3 years, then obviously high school, he'll be at a different school then. So he's a little nervous, but I think he'll be alright. I think he'll find it's pretty cool. Especially since one of his electives, they're teaching, like, robotics and stuff, and he's really into that, so I'm like, hell yeah, dude, go for it. Oh, wow. Yeah, hasn't started yet. Yeah, it makes sense. Y'all are on the other side of the world, so. Oh my gosh. Well, whenever you get there, I hope it's a good summer. Over here, it's super hot all the time, and we're trying to hide from the sun while the sun plays Super Mario 3 and constantly tries to burn us alive. That's California weather. Every summer. But, you know, gives me an excuse to stay in the game whenever I'm not working. So, yeah. It all works out. It balances out in there. And, summer's actually going by faster than I was expecting, so before I know it, it'll be fall. Yeah, boiling or freezing, exactly, I feel that. Can't make its mind up. Yep, sounds about right. Doesn't sound too different from over here. Although I am a little jealous, like, that part of the world gets more rain. I kind of wish we got more rain than we got over here in California. Like, that would be cool. I would love rain to be a more common thing again. Although this past winter, it did actually rain a lot. So much so that it kept... When spring came around, it was like, every weekend it was pouring and cold, but then every weekday it was spring. It was very confusing. But then summer happened, it was like, nah, I'm just gonna burn everybody forever until I decide that summer's over. That's the thing about California, it really is when the sun decides summer's over, because sometimes it'll be fall and summer's like, nah, I'm not done yet. Yeah. They really do. It feels that way. I forgot to dash twice now. Wow, imagine that. No, it's cool. But yeah, it'd be like that sometimes. I swear the sun has its own personality. It really do. Because it's got a mind of its own over here. Every summer is like, between wildfires and just heat in general, it's just like crazy. It's the one time of year the weather's absolutely perfectly consistent because it's just sunny and hot all the time. It's bad when I'm like, oh, it's only going to be 100 today? That's nice weather. Because that's summer. It's like, if it's below 110, I'm okay with it, usually, because that's a normal summer thing. But for some reason, at the beginning of summer, they spent a lot of the time deciding it was going to be 120 almost every day, and that was not even, like, that's not typical even for where I'm at. And so I was like, what the hell? I swear the sun's just up in the sky laughing, like, how dare ya? Ooh, almost messed that up. I forgot the spikes are right there in front of my face. But yeah. That's okay though, before you know it, it will be fall, and it will be actual fall eventually, and then the sun will go away and it'll be cloudy all the time, and then you'll have people complaining it's raining, and I'm gonna be like, what are you complaining about? We need all the rain every time. Like, that's... But I get it. Some people get glum in the rain. Especially around here, because they're used to it being sunny all the time. Me, I actually usually get glum during the summer because I'm not a big heat person. I love it. And I have a lot of issues with the heat to begin with, health-wise, so... I don't. It takes me a little bit. Like, I'm good now because I've been in summer long enough. But, the initial points of when summer first starts, it kind of, like, almost depresses me. It's like SADS, but during summer for me. So, yeah. Yeah, I like spring and autumn too because they're not the extremes, you know, of the temps, so... My favorite season's probably winter, but I feel like fall just has that nice balance of cool and, you know. And spring, it's like just after winter, so you're like, oh good, it's nice and warm again, but it's not quite, you know, scorching hot yet, so it's like, oh, that's nice. It's a nice little balance usually. And sometimes it bounces between spring and winter, so it's like, okay, I can kind of deal with that. But yeah, I like fall because that's when October happens, and you know that's the best month of the year for, in my opinion. But I'm also biased as someone who really loves horror, so you know it's like the perfect time to be doing that kind of stuff, playing games like that. I have a whole lineup set up for October, so assuming I don't play them all before then, because I do rarely I'll stream really late night my time just to play horror games, but it's like a random thing. It's I have to be in the mode and have the time to do it. But if I get the chance, I want to do that more often, because you know, just waiting until October to play all the spooky games I like to play, that's kind of like, okay, that's cool, but you know, it doesn't seem like it because of the stuff I play on here. Because I play a lot of like challenge run games and stuff, but my favorite genre is actually horror. So it just like, I don't know, platformers are really fun, and Celeste is amazing. So I'll probably always be playing Celeste in some form. Just realized I could skip like that. That's good to know. I almost messed it up, but even so, like, realizing I can do that is kind of awesome. I always feel like that section is going to be longer than what it is, and then I'm like, oh wait, no, it's really not. I unfortunately do not have a gaming laptop to do that anymore. I used to, but, you know, I've had really bad luck with gaming laptops. Like, I'd be doing my best to take care of them, and yet somehow, some way, I always find a way, like, it just dies on me, so there for a while, I was like, okay, it's getting too expensive to try and fix or replace these, so I just stopped doing it. I am hoping, just because I see the stuff, like the mod levels that people create, and Celeste and all the crazy stuff and like the playlist with it, I'm hoping someday to be able to remedy that and play them, just because yeah, it just looks like a lot of fun, and that's more Celeste. So, but I'll wait until I'm like probably through with a lot of the stuff I'm trying to do with like just base game Celeste. Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, I know they get really crazy. I've watched people play them, so I'm like, that looks like fun, but that looks insane. Like, some of the stuff, I'm like, how do y'all keep up with that? But then I remember, it's just practice. You know, you do it enough, you learn the pathing, and then it's just a matter of practicing it until you are consistent enough to get through. If you're doing, like, Golden or something, so it's kind of wild. Yeah, that's what I heard. I know a lot of people do, like, the Strawberry Jam thing, but which seems like a great place to start at, but yeah, some of those get crazy after a while. Some of those Grandmaster levels are like, wow, how did you even think to design this? Like, that's crazy. But it's cool. I like that. Yeah, that just sounds insane. Just reading that's like, wow. Yeah, and then I bet you come back to normal Celeste and you're like, wow, this wasn't so bad. What was I overthinking this was hard for? To be fair, I know a lot of people do the modded levels instead of the golden stuff for a while. Just because they wind up getting really into the modded levels and they just, that's what they do. Because it's so much fun. Yeah, and then it makes it so much easier than it would have before you knew how to do that. Usually. I mean, I know there were some levels like this where it's just hard no matter what, but I have quite a few friends who stream, and they have PCs, so they do a lot of modded Celeste, and I'm just like, damn, that looks like super fun. Like, but also insanely difficult. Whew, almost crushed myself. Oh, then I spiked myself. Wow, smooth. I guess I got too excited. Oh my gosh, don't die! I die soon because I'm going fast. Oh, that's fair. You know, I would not fault anyone for dying on any of the bees, but especially anything that involves Oshiro. That guy, his levels are just evil. They're also notoriously way longer than I feel like they need to be. But, you know, especially for the point in the game that it is, like with B, yeah, you excuse it, but like, when 3A first happened, and I remember doing goals, I'm like, why? Like, from a story standpoint, it makes sense. But at the same time, I'm like, This is unusually long for this point in the game. Like, why? There's so many times I'm like, did we really need this room, or this room, or this one? And then you do something like 5A, and that one does too, but, you know, you can learn the skips and the tech to do it, and that actually made 5A Golden a lot more reasonable. A lot more consistent to getting to the end, too. Because I would die a lot at Oshiro. Before I learned the tech for one of the skips, I was like, oh, wow. But then once you do it, and it was like, oh, wow, you skip so much doing this, it makes it so much simpler. To at least get back to where you're needing to be consistently. And I also like that Celeste has so many options for learning new tech. Even in base game, I just think that's cool that people have come up with what they've come up with, and you start to use it in the actual levels. It can make things really, really great, especially if you speedrun. I've only done that once casually on this because I'm more focused on Goldens, but I could see the appeal. Because even in games that aren't very speedrun friendly, if I like a game enough and I play it enough, sometimes I'll just do it to have another reason to keep playing. It's just kind of outside of the normal, hey, I'm playing it again for the sake of playing it. Yeah. Okay, now let's go straight up this time. There we go, don't turn too early. Oh my gosh. Still feeling fine, Madeline, don't worry. Could repeat this forever and it probably would still be joyous to me, so it really doesn't matter. I don't see myself not being okay with repeating it. Especially 7, I really like 7. All the 7s are fun to me. Really surprised that worked out. I thought I hit the spikes, but hey, we're here. It worked out. Sometimes it be like that. That's another thing I really love about Celeste. This soundtrack is really good. Just be hopping along and going through things, and sometimes you're dying, but you're still jamming out the whole time, so it's all good. Whee! There we go. If I just do the jump at the end, it helps a lot. Yes! The soundtrack is freaking amazing. This part makes sense, but this right here, I'm still trying to... They just come back so fast, you know? Timing it is really hard. There are times I feel like, oh yeah, I kind of got this, and there are times where I'm like, I don't know, man, it's kind of wild. They just fly back and forth so fast. But, that's part of learning, so it's all good. Doo-doo. I feel like if I had a gaming laptop, I would probably get too distracted with the modded levels after a while. Just because there's so much of that. It's damn near infinite new Celeste, so, you know. It would be too much fun trying to do all the other stuff between. I would still obviously be working on Goldens, but I feel like I'd be far less focused. Because it'd be very easy to be like, well, let me take a break from this and go try this, and then you get sucked into that, and then you get sucked into the next level, and the next, and the next. And the next thing you're like, wow, I'm drowning in amazing Celeste levels. You know? Because believe me, I wish there was a way for them to do that here, but you know. Yeah. Well, I don't blame you. It's probably also a really good break from practicing on Golden sometimes. Like, gives you a little between. That's partially what I'm doing with, like, doing my first playthrough of Hollow Knight, is I knew Goldens would take me a little bit, and they would take a lot of practice. So I'm doing... Oh, I bet it is beautiful. I'm doing, like, Mondays and Wednesdays I'm doing Hollow Knight, so I have an alternate game between the Golden runs, so I'm not just dead focused on, you know, Goldens. Oh, I bet. I've seen some of those levels are just insane. Like, just design-wise, not even talking about the actual, you know, mechanics, it's just... Celeste, you know, there's a strange thing I'm noticing just through, like, watching YouTube and stuff, too, that the Celeste to Hollow Knight pipeline is way larger than I ever expected. Like, there's a lot of people who started with one or the other, and then a lot of them be like, hey, what do I play next? And then they'll be like, hey, go play Hollow Knight. And while I agree, Hollow Knight is amazing, and we're all waiting on Silk Song, obviously, I feel like I get a little more easily tilted at Hollow Knight, at least certain areas of Hollow Knight. Like, normally I'm not much of a I get ragey, but Hollow Knight gets me there, so, like, there's just some of the design setups, but, Aw, sweet though. I just really like Souls games and Metroidvanias, and it just kind of happened that way. Like, I happened into Hollow Knight and I really liked it. Oh, Elden Ring's my favorite game, so I feel that. It has its moments where you're ragey and yeah. And then the DLC made me super happy. I was like I was really happy with it. I actually took a week off of streaming just so I could chill out and finish it. So yeah, I was just like, dang, I absolutely love Elden Ring. Really FromSoft games in general, but Elden Ring is just so amazing. Oh, you know what though? It gets even better. And whether you think better means harder and more insane, or better just means, you know, it really does get better, that's for you to decide when you get there. I tend to really like super challenging games though, so... And I don't mean that in the, I love super challenging games, I'm a better gamer. No, I just really like them. So, like, it's... I don't know, Elden Ring's just great because I get sidetracked exploring, so... There's a lot of points where it's like... It took me forever to actually beat it the first time, not even just because of the challenge, but because I would just get sidetracked. That's a problem I have with a lot of open world games, is I get really sidetracked. But if it's one like this one... It just, or if it's one like Elden Ring, it just kind of amplifies. Well, that's okay. You know, you don't have to be, it's just practice. It's a lot of practice. Okay, I'll take it back. It's practice and a lot of patience. You kind of have to have patience, so you're gonna just be where you're gonna be. Like, there's no way to just have it be this easy, you know. It's like ding, and I just can't do that for some reason. I always think maybe this time, no. Yeah, you know, there's nothing wrong with taking a break either. I'm working on, and have been for like a year plus now, I'm working on the Crypt of the Necrodancer Platinum. So, like, I take breaks all the time. Sometimes, some of those breaks, same with Trackmania Turbo. I've been working on that one for a year plus, and it's like, sometimes I take breaks for months at a time, and then I just come back to it, and it's better. I have played Terraria, but I haven't played enough of it to, like, really form a strong opinion, other than it's fun, but I've never, like... I've seen some of the weird boss stuff in that, though, and that looked insane, but there's always that one people meme with that, just looks absolutely bananas, but, yeah. Like, do you enjoy Terraria? I'm taking it, even if it's challenging. I would argue I am not really that great at a lot of these games, too. It's just a lot of practice and patience, and I just get used to it. Oh. Yeah, I have it on Switch, I think. I just haven't, like, had a lot of time to invest into it. And what I played of it was fun, but I haven't, like, played enough of it yet. Never beaten a vanilla? That's fair. Yeah, I think practice and patience goes a long way. And consistency to some degree, but you can take breaks. I think people get freaked out that they're going to take a break, whether it's a few weeks or a month or whatever, and they think, oh, I'll never be able to, like, I'm going to have to restart. But you don't need to, because I find if you just come back to it after a while and you have the patience to practice a little bit, you'll find your muscle memory kicks in pretty quickly, and you actually usually do better because you've just had time to breathe. You've beaten Calamity, but you've never beaten the vanilla. Interesting. But yeah, a lot of it's just consistent, or just practice, really, because I've gone back to things like Super Meat Boy sometimes a year down the road and found out, oh, it's almost like, as cliche as it sounds, it's almost like riding a bike. You just practice it, and your muscle memory won't go away as quickly as you might think. And I say that as someone who just has a terrible memory in general. Like, yeah, your hands don't forget as quickly as you think. Did half a vanilla playthrough and then started modded co-op. Oh, I bet the co-op element's super fun. Most games I find are a blast if you have a friend who's into them too and is willing to play through them, or in the case of some challenging games, suffer through them with you. I say suffer endearingly though, because, I mean, you go into a challenging game knowing it's going to be challenging. You don't go in there like, haha, this should be easy, and then you just cry in a fetal position by the end. Bonk. I would argue I am not exactly great at Hollow Knight, but I'm still making my way through it. I like it. I'm just not, like, what I would consider good at it, per se. Accidentally misinformed you, huh? Accidentally, I got you. What if they did that just to get you to give it a chance? So, because they were like, I bet they'll like it, even if initially it's challenging. I have a few friends that try that sometimes. I have done that to a few friends. They're like, oh, it's alright, come on. And then they're like, what were you thinking? And I'm like, I thought maybe I would have the power of friendship to help me along this harrowing journey. Ooh, Enter the Gungeon! Oh yeah, so easy. It's so easy, like, you can practically sleepwalk through it, right? Enter the Gungeon's so hard. I honestly think it's a little harder than they claim it is for the plat difficulty, too. I mean, yeah, you get used to things. I think that's much harder than some people give it credit for being. You know, that's impressive in its own right. I think I might have gotten to the second boss, and then I always wind up getting murked. I haven't touched it a lot, but what I played of it was fun. It's just because it's one of those games that I know I can't put a lot of time into until I have time to actually devote to really practice it. And so there are games like that I might enjoy, and I know I'll enjoy later on, but I won't come back to for a while because I'm like, I need to wait till I have time to actually specifically devote to this game. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Whoops. Well, that's not how that was supposed to go. Oh, good. Sometimes I wind up in weird situations where I wind up in places like that, and I'm like, how did I even do that? On 6A Golden, during one of the feather segments, I would there would be like times where I'd slip through just between the bubble that you're supposed to, or just between the feather and like where you're supposed to go, and I'd somehow slip just through the bubbled feather, and go straight into the pit. And I'd be like, how did I even do that? Because the opening for it is very narrow. So I'm like, what? It's like I just perfectly aligned trying to get the feather that... Of course that happened. Although I found 6A is a very fun level to run, so restarting it isn't terrible. Until you get to the end part where you're consistently getting to the last screen in the boss fight, and then you're dying, then it's like, oh my god, this pain. Still fun to run, but still like, oh my god, I gotta go all the way back. I'm scared, because I know when I start getting super consistent at this, I'm gonna get up to like 2 meters, and then I'm gonna freaking whiff it and die and have to restart this level, because I have this bad habit of getting right at the end of the level in Goldens, and then whoops, I messed it up and have to start over. And it's really funny, but at the same time it's like really, really... So at this point I'm so used to doing that I just kind of laugh at myself whenever it happens. Probably why I find dying in these games amusing at all, just because it's kind of funny. You get to a certain point, it's like you kind of gotta laugh at yourself a little bit. Well-meaning laugh, but laugh nonetheless. Oh. Jump, jump, jump. Woo! That reminds me of how fun doing the one-up achievement is for trophy. Like the 6-in-1s. I watched a video where somebody did like, I don't know how many, but they strung them along all the way through like 7A, I want to say. And it was ridiculous. It was like all the strawberries on a trail, and they didn't stay on the ground long enough to ever pop them until the very end. And I was just like, holy hell, that's insane. But at the same time, it was kind of cool to see. Like, it's cool to see because I'm like, I'm not doing that. It's cool to see it happen. Ooh, that was close. This stupid room. See, when I did that time and I go to the dash straight, I'm like, oh, I'll dash straight, because all the other times they're always aligned to where that'd work. But now, the time where I would normally drop through, I dash through, and nope, they're right there. Like, I don't know how to keep up with that consistently. The longer I stand there staring at it, trying to figure out the pattern, I feel like the more I overthink it. So it's like I might as well just yeet and hope I make it. One of these days I will make it through, and I'm like, yay, PB! That'll be the time I like blast most of the rest of it launch. I do that a lot too, like stuck really hard in one place, and then all of a sudden I breeze past the stuff after it. It's like, why couldn't I just get through that one room? Yo. Ew. Oh. Yay! Going up in this guy again! Woohoo! Whee! Down, from there, from here, bam, bounce, grab, no, there we go. Yeah. Up, yeah, there we go. Up dash, not diagonal, that's nice. Oh, yeah, we're good. Bonk, bonk. Boom. It makes sense to me, I promise. All the weird noises. Like, in 6A Golden, there was a point where there's a certain part of the boss fight where you use the wall, and I would literally audibly tell myself, wall. So I didn't, like, because before I was doing that, I would have issues and I would try, like, double, like, I would second guess myself and then I would just be like, oh, no, wait, this way, and then I'd fall. So, like, what I would always tell myself when I hit that point is wall, and I had to explain it because I was like, it probably sounds weird to people if I start just saying stuff like wall on the stream. It's like, why do you keep saying that? It's like, because it audibly lets me know, hey, use the wall here. You don't need to think about it, just do it. Outside of just telling yourself wall. It also tells me the timing on the dodge for that particular part. So, yeah. There is some strategy involved in Celeste, I swear. And at one point I was audibly saying everything I was doing on purpose just to show people, like, even though I keep dying and I haven't quite gotten, 6A Golden at that point in time, I was like, I swear, I have this level down to a science, I just haven't quite strung it together. Shortly after that, I did it, so, I might be a long way off with only practicing for 7A Golden, but, little by little get there. I think if I can just develop a better strategy for the room with the, back and forth diagonal, less funny things, I would probably have better luck over there, I guess, is what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm prone to doing something silly like what I just did, but for the most part, internally I start to develop kind of reasonable strategies. I just don't always execute them. Because I'm human. I make mistakes. It happens. Woo! Bum, 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 bum. There we go, that's how that was supposed to go. Bum, bum, bum. It took me, doing it normally, it was funny how long it took me to realize you just dash, then dash up, then dash up on that one part. Like, but before I was even practicing for Goldens. Whee! I'll even have to I'll go for a second. Yeah, no problem, nice to meet you, and thanks for hanging out. Enjoy the rest of your day. Or night, I'm not sure what the time zones are. Yeah, definitely, I appreciate you. Thank you. Bum, 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 bum. Whew. I will keep this one. Yeah, that goes there, bam, bam. Over here, on top of this, so I'll go dash twice. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. That. Whee! It's fun to launch off of things like that. Go that way. Wait, calm down. There we go. Got a little ahead of myself. I had to, like, pause myself there on the trampoline. Here, point. Woo! Zoop. Yeah. Give me just a second. I will be right back. Alright, there we go. More coffee. Coffee's hitting this morning, yo. Tastes good. Got me all kinds of amped to practice. Whee! Alright, that was close. Go back on the spikes. Oh yeah. Whee! Whee! Oh, there we go. That thing's more consistent than trying to do every block, even though it's a little scarier. Yes, this part is always tricky. Except the one time where I forgot to grab all the spikes, but that's beside the I see in coffee vision. You can't stop me, dust bunnies. Actually, they can, and they probably will at some point, so gotta be more careful about my timings. Oh, I didn't go over enough because I was trying not to hit it on its way back. Okay, that's cool, that's cool. He's a goof, but it's alright. We'll get back. Oh, that's funny. That's what I like about practice, though, because I don't put a lot of pressure on myself in the practice runs, so when I'm just learning the pathing I want to take and following myself for the goldens, it's just like, just chill. I get to chat and just chill out and take it a little easier. And when people pop in and want to talk, I can talk to them, which I find a very fun thing to do for me, which is weird because I'm usually a very socially anxious person, but when streaming, I don't know, it's a little easier because it's like, oh, I can just sit here and practice this really difficult thing, and then I can chat with whoever wants to chat, and if nobody wants to chat, ramble to myself, it's all good. Either way, it's fun times for me. That's kind of my point. It's like, I don't know, it helps my anxiety. Not even just socially, but in general, to be able to just chill and stream. So, yeah. But I also met really cool people through it, so I appreciate everybody who says hi, or even lurks. Y'all are great. Thank you. Whee! Especially since I tend to happy death to say my way through a lot of the goldens, so there's just a lot of repeating. And especially in the practice phases. It's like, it's good. I know most people would do the practice by actually just doing all without the golden and practicing those areas, which I'll do to some degree eventually, once I start to get most of this stuff down. But for me, it's easier to just practice it as in, like, the golden would work itself, like, just until I get consistent enough to not die at certain parts. You know, I don't mind repeating the level. I just like to kind of learn that way. It's easier for me. But I also understand why people do it the other way. And I think their strat is valid and actually pretty smart, actually. But it's harder for me to learn without just straight doing it. So if I have to die and restart the level, well, it also helps me get used to that, I guess. I mean, I don't have a problem with restarting the level to die. I only have a problem restarting the whole game with dying, so I like remember that a lot. But, you know, I can see how that would be disheartening to people even in practice. I like that I guess what I'm getting at is I like that different people have different ways in which they handle different challenges in games. And I like to learn about that from other people, like what they do. And sometimes I'll find they do something that I can adapt to how I do things, and it helps me. So I like to ask people about that stuff too. So if you like challenges and challenge runs and stuff, and you're doing stuff a certain way, like, it's always cool to hear how other people do that. So if you want to, you feel free to share. Not that's chill too. You're just gonna sit here and keep practicing this crap. Still got a little bit. I'm not gonna stop just yet. I don't know how long I've been. I don't think I've been going that long. About 2 hours and 13 minutes. That's not terrible. I got time then to keep practicing. Sometimes I go by the vibe too, like if I'm how I'm feeling, you know, how things are going, if I'm chatting with people, if I'm not. Sometimes I go off of that, it just depends on what's going on. I do that dash up to set up the dash cam. Makes that a lot more consistent for me. Oh, I meant to diagonal that, I accidentally went straight up. Oh well. Now, sometimes I'll say that stuff and you're like, well yeah, I saw that, but it's like for me, I repeat it so that my brain registers it, notates it, and tries to avoid it in the future. I'm calling it out loud so I know, hey, this is where I messed up, this is how, and if I can identify the reason of why and how, it makes it easier for me in future runs to make that mistake less. Usually. I mean, there are parts in Farewell, when I was just doing Farewell normally, that I knew exactly what I was doing wrong, but I still didn't much. That level's brutal, but it's still my favorite level in the game. A very wonderful masterpiece of level design, especially for a platformer. This game has many examples of that, but Farewell is definitely where it's at for that. You know, I'm not talking about modded stuff because I don't have a PC, a gaming PC, so I can't play that stuff. I've seen how crazy that stuff gets, and that obviously is amazing, but just as far as the game design from the creators, that's in just the normal vanilla game, that's pretty, well, I guess you could call it still that because Farewell's kind of included, so the fact they gave that out for free too is freaking amazing. A level like Farewell that's pretty much, especially your first time through, longer than the whole game. It's pretty, and like 10 million times more challenging. It's pretty cool that they did that. That was really nice of them. And how they integrated some of the speedrun tech from the community into the level, that was just beautiful. It was cool. I'm grateful they created that. I really am. And someday, I will probably get like a gaming PC so I can try the modded levels, but that's a long ways off yet because, you know, there aren't adulting bills. It's like, dagnabbit, I swore I paid those bills last month. Why'd they come around again this month? Whee! Yeah. This. Oh, thank you. Aha! Woohoo! Woohoo! Yeah, okay. Some water. There we go. I got me feeling some type of way about this. And honestly, it's beautiful. Oh, this is such a fun level to run through, so... all the dying is just, yeah, it's whatever. It's also an Oshiro's part thing. I am always having notorious difficulty for anything in Oshiro's parts of the game. I have rough times with it just naturally. So I think I probably actually do better in some of the later sections. It's just like, even in just normal playthroughs I do, I tend to die a lot in Oshiro stuff, you know. But when I don't goof like that. But yeah, like, yeah. His stuff is just, it's the dust bunnies, guys. It's the little back and forth little black thing. Going back and forth like the little dust bunny thing. Those are what give me all the trouble, man. Timing those, they're always so perfectly synced up. And fast in some places that it's really hard for me to get through his section. But when you finally do, it's like, oh, that's cool. Until you have to do it again because you die. To be fair, I haven't, on the golden runs, I haven't gotten past Oshiro's area yet. But we're going to. We're going to get there. Once I learn the timing on, specifically, the diagonal one, that would help a lot. Once I learn how to make that more consistent. And we will eventually. Could be this stream, could be another one. I don't know. But we'll get there. as I get further along in Hollow Knight, the other game I'm playing, I start to debate what I'm going to play after that. And I still have a fair bit of stuff I want to do with Hollow Knight. Maybe even a few challenge runs after beating it that I want to try. I'll just drop down here and get. But there are some things. Hold up 1 second. Double check that. Oh, jeez. Okay. That's actually kind of wild. Got a lot more notifications than I realized. Start to stream and suddenly it's like, hey, what are you doing? And it's like, oh, give me a sec, I'm streaming. It's like TikToks and all of those stuff always seem to pop up when I'm doing something. That's kind of what I'm getting at. It's not even just streaming, it's just when I'm doing something, that's when everybody's all chatty and talkative. And it's just a timing thing, it's not anyone's fault. I don't mind it. I appreciate having friends who say hi and check in or willing to chat with me. That's awesome. But it's just always funny how it works. It's like when you go to work and then suddenly everybody in the world is up and wants to talk. It's like, oh, thanks. I appreciate you thinking of me. But the timing always amuses me. There we go. Yo. Do that. Whee! Do that. Dash there. Jump there. Dash. Jump at the end. Jump. Jump. Dash. Dash. There we go. You can time this right. Well, we didn't do it the way I'd like to have, but it still worked out, so that doesn't matter. Sometimes it's hard to get close enough without messing it up, so it's fair. Whatever works out right. However it works. Whee! Let's try this the proper way this time, not the way I did it last time. Bonk. Alright, I like that they have these little platforms here. Alright, let's try this the right way. Busted you, but for some reason I lost track of where I was last time. Yeah. If I lost track, I knew, like, I forgot the room I was in, so I had to redo. Ah, there we go. Had it a little low, but it worked out. Whee! There we go. Getting back to Oshiro's part is pretty consistent. It's just doing his part that's really hard. You know? Like this part, it's whatever. This next part, it's definitely tricky. I don't always feel comfortable with this part, you know? But, still, overall, fairly doable, right? So, the part I get most nervous about, not even this, guys, it's later, you know? It's here. This is the room that always fucks me up for some reason. Okay, normally I don't hit that, but normally I can get to the door thing, but then getting back out, it's like, I can't do it for some reason. Even in normal playthroughs of that part, I have the worst time with it. It takes me like 50 tries before I actually freaking get it right. And even then, I still can't quite... My brain doesn't process it right. It messes me over, and it feels a bit cheap for the room, but I also understand there is a consistent strategy to it. I just learn it. Otherwise, a lot of golden ones are going to be way too premature. And this one. I know for a fact there's a consistent strat because I've seen people do it all the time, so it's just my brain doesn't, like, when I'm in the moment, it's fine, like, oh yeah, that's all you do, and then whenever I go to do it, I'm actually in the moment, it's like, oh shit, I can't keep up with this shit, it's going too fast, and my brain's just not picking up on pattern. It seemed like when I was doing a normal run, I could get through that part somewhat more consistently, but ever since I did Golden, I cannot get through that ever. And I will eventually make it through it, but I like to make it through it to the point where, like, I understand it well enough to do it consistently. And I will at some point, I know that, but working up to that is like, damn. And it's even worse because now I'm starting to get fairly consistent with most of the other stuff up prior to it. But it is just like, what am I doing here? And then you die and you go back, and you're like, oh, well, okay, whatever. But at the same time, it's like, if I could just learn that room, I would probably get a lot further, a lot faster. But that room, well, it's just that. But, you know, that's the beauty of it. You learn, and eventually become more consistent. And eventually I'll probably do it without thinking about it. That's what's happened in all the other places. Eventually I get through the rooms that I have the most trouble with, like I don't even have to think about it. But it's ones like that one. One of the rooms in 6A's boss was very 50-50 for me, even at the end of completing 6A Gold. So sometimes you just have rooms that are just dicey no matter what. But I know there's a pattern to it. I know there's a way to get through that without, you know, I mean 100% consistently too. But I just haven't got it down in the moment. Like when I watch it done, it's like cool, I can see it. But when I go to actually do it, it's like, oh, what am I doing? Everything's moving so fast. When do I time it? Because it is a very tight window you have to do. Even when you do it like successfully, it's very tight and you almost die. So yeah, it's just one of those rooms, I guess. Boom, 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 boom. Whee! There we go. There's one thing I've learned about Celeste, though, is no matter how RNG room may feel, it typically isn't. You just gotta learn the patterns and the cycles. And next thing you know, it's, oh, wow, why was I ever having trouble with that room? You know? It becomes like that, so. That's always sketch, but that's a lot easier than, as dicey as it might be, it's always easier than doing it the way I would do it before, so. Well, thank you. Do this again. Yep, thank you. Just get those here. That'd be wondrous. Like this stuff? Pretty timeable in my opinion. This, less so, but still doable if you can just not be a me person. You can just time it a little more consistently. It's still a little dicey, still scary no matter what, but mostly consistently doable for me. But this I do not. I just can't get that. Every time. Every time. Even when I get the frickin' middle part, I cannot seem to find my opening to get back out. Now that I think about it, though, I wonder if I can dash back out the other way and then just kind of go under. Hard to say without actually being in the moment, but I think I might be able to. I guess we'll see whenever I get back there, if I don't just yeet in the spikes. That, pop up here, do that, down, bounce. Woo! There we go. As you can see, for the most part, early parts I have figured out. It's just Oshiro's domain is such a pain. Nardbards. And that's okay though. I will figure it out. Even if I have to practice some of it off stream, I'll go to that room specifically and kind of figure out the pattern for it. Might back out in a second, try it anyway without the golden just to see. And then keep killing yourself until I have it down to a science. Sometimes I do that and it helps. But it's usually how I utilize practicing that way, is only when it's a very specific area I need to figure out, you know? I'll purposely eat myself into the void, keep practicing. So let me check something real quick. Go to the map, we're gonna test this out. I'm gonna go back there and I'm gonna practice it. Yes. 1,500 meters. Alright. This way I can die and practice freely and not worry about it, so I'll just pretend like... See, that would have been bad, but because we're not doing the golden this second, more freely practice it. Also makes me a bit sloppier because I'm just trying to get back to that spot. Well, I can do that. Now that I realize that, that might actually help in the future. So I realize I can just do that. That's good. That's still pretty straightforward. This is the part I don't get. Can I? Can. Okay, let me kill myself again. I want to make sure that's consistent. As so long as I time it right. Okay. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, and then I can just run under from what I can tell, right? Yeah, that's the strat, isn't it? Okay. We'll try that next time I'm in here and watch. It won't work all the time. Oh, watch it. Just watch. Okay, we're gonna restart this. Start at the beginning. Yes, I know. Alright, well that's what I needed to know. So, we'll get back there, and then hopefully we'll be able to actually get through it and set a new PB. So maybe I don't get excited and jump into something like I do sometimes. Whee! Bonk. That actually feels really good knowing that that strategy works. I just wanted to practice it outside of Golden, so I didn't practice it. Mess it up. It would be like, oh, okay, I don't know if this is actually consistent. And I was like, oh, it is consistent. There you go. Then you just run under them. You don't actually have to worry about any of the jumping threats. Maybe that is what I should have done. I was overcomplicating it, trying to get out the other end that way. Whereas I could just dash back diagonally. And I only just noticed that might have been a thing recently when I died on it. That's why I was like, oh, let me try this. Sure enough, it's consistent. I just have to time it right. And the timing isn't even that strict. I just need to not overthink it in the moment. Which is very easy to do, obviously. Do that. Oh. Now let's see if I can get back to it, because I had this bad habit of... Now I know how to do it, and then suddenly I can't get back to it. I'm most nervous about when I'm in the actual first 2 or 3 rooms of Oshiro's place, because prior to that room, because that's the part where I will die more consistently if I die. But you know what? I gotta just keep practicing for now. Doesn't matter if I die or not. Just get practice for the rest of the stuff we've already done. So we have it damn near 100% consistent. Which we're getting on some parts, but we're not entirely there on others, so. Beauty of practice. You notice those things. Do that. Also have to remember to take it one room at a time and not overthink it, you know? very easy to overthink it. Think too far ahead. And the next thing you know, bam, you're dead. The game. Especially once we get to the dream blocks. Here. Don't. A lot of these screens look more intimidating than they actually are. Don't get me wrong, you can die on any of them very easily, it's just that some are not as scary as they look initially. I'll get up there, come on, I do that sometimes, I'll just miss her. Thankfully, you're not going to die for just missing her. In most runs, assuming you don't diagonal dash to a spike or something. Whee! There we go. Not how it's supposed to be happening, but whatever, it works. Sometimes you gotta improvise, right? Like here, for example. Gotta make sure you get that, because sometimes I'll jump over it, I'll mess up. This one's fairly consistent. Just do that. This part, it depends on how you set up this next. Yeah, if you get like that, it's fine. But sometimes you can miss that's the problem. This is in the setup of how you do this part. If you do this and then you do diagonal down, it's fine. You can generally get through it. Here you just then here you. There we go. Set that up, it's fine, but if you don't set that up, you're almost guaranteed to die. No, I messed up. I knew it. I was so close because I was all ready to frickin' do the room I finally figured out that I haven't done in Golden yet, and then that can happen. That's why I say focus on one room at a time, because sometimes you'll just make goofy mistakes like that. That's okay though. It didn't take terribly long to get back to. It's just that there's a lot of places to die between here. Not typically easy, like it's not like you're gonna probably die on most of the runs in them, but all it takes is the one time. You're back to the start of the level, so it doesn't matter if you consistently die there or not. It just takes one slip up, as you just saw. But I try to, when it comes to that, and I know I'm getting closer to a part I kind of can figure out now, I try to just not think about it. Just go through the rooms one by one, and next thing you know, you're like, oh, I'm already here? Yeah, rather than, oh, I got so long before I get back to that room, then that's when you start overthinking things and you die more consistently. Like right here, we're already about to be up to the 500 meters. Most of this is pretty consistent chill, it's just, you know, not overthinking it. Not worrying about necessarily where you're at, but just doing it room by room. Don't get ahead of yourself like I did and then get yourself killed for no reason. Or needlessly, I should say. There's always a reason for you dying now, but, you know, it's avoidable if you don't. But think those things. Oh well, I just have to do that. Wasn't what I wanted to do, but it works. Thankfully, that part's recoverable if you mess up. Usually. Assuming you don't do something just horribly off with it, you should be able to recover. This part used to be wildly hard for me, then I realized you just have to start lower on that jump and you'll get over the spikes without jumping into the top spikes. So this part's always been fairly easy, as long as you ignore that and then dash over here with that. It's a lot easier. This part isn't really that bad. You just there, you grab this, then you just kind of, assuming you actually remember to grab on the way down. There we go. I have yeeted into those spikes on the side on accident before, so, you know, it does happen. Love it. Okay. Not exactly how I wanted to do that, but you know what? Sometimes you gotta do it that way. That room has that a lot, but thankfully it's usually fairly recoverable, even if it goes wrong. If you're like me and you just have real problems with doing it properly, it's okay. You can usually recover stuff. Assuming you stay calm, you don't just freak out the first time you mess it up. It's just easy to do, I guess, if you pay too much attention to the golden strawberry following you. There we go. Well, let's try not to goof this, you know, like I did the last time. There we go. That's how you're supposed to do that. And then you come up here and you're like, yay, I did it. Kind of messed that up a little bit, but we managed to recover anyway, so. There we go. This part. Not here specifically, but here we go. Okay, let's try this the way we know. Come on, see? Now I get there and it doesn't work. What the fucking flippy fuck, man? Thought I had a consistent strategy, I guess not. Consistent anytime I'm not doing golden, but then when I do gold, whoops, it doesn't work. Like, but I must have done something wrong. I need to get it ingrained in my brain, because if I don't, I'm gonna keep dying there. So here we go again, practicing in my brains. That's alright, I need to learn these first few rooms anyway, consistently, rather than kind of fluffing muller through this part, which is a little too easy to do sometimes, because they just move so fast, it fucks with my brain a lot. And my nerves, so I need to learn to consistently not be messed with by that. It shouldn't matter, ultimately, but, you know, sometimes your brain messes with you. Hey, let's try this. Oh, it's the timing thing. Damn it. You just have to... I'm thinking what got me is I tried to do it too fast, you know, instead of just being patient, because, you know, golden, you got the golden strawberry behind you, you get a lot more prone to overthinking it. I just need to time it a little better. Okay, well, alright, that works. Still sucks having to make sure I time it correctly, but what else is there? Eventually it'll become second nature. Sucks not as in it literally sucks, but as in I suck it. Sucks that I gotta get this figured out. That's okay though. Okay. When I get to that room, I gotta stop thinking about PB, and I need to just, yeah, do it. Just do it. I'm hungry, about to have to make myself some lunch. I'm not sure what I want to have for lunch, though. I have options, I just don't know. I'll figure it out, actually. Maybe I'll do noodles. they're always pretty consistent and delicious and really light overall, I guess. That's the only problem is sometimes they're so light that I wind up hungry way before dinner. I try to be careful with what I'm eating and how much and when. Not so much from a weight perspective, I lost a lot of weight, but that's fine. But just from letting it pass through the system. As you get up there, you have to think about the stuff over again, so. Unfortunately, aging happens, guys. I might look like I'm in my early to mid-20s, but sadly, I'm in my 30s, so... Sometimes you just got... I overthought about where I thought I was in a different reps. You just gotta roll with the punches. Also, I would do chronic things that unfortunately make it so I have to pay for certain things. What I eat. How much I eat. What's up, Loaf of Bread? How you doing? Also, saw your vid. Super awesome. Half the time, my eyes were like, how did you even keep up with it, much less knowing where to go? But then I remembered that just comes with practice. Because I was like, whoa, where is he? How are you? A lot of it was me trying to process what you were even doing. And then let alone the gold in that is absolutely insane. Yeah, I know. It's always like one of those things where like when you don't do it, it's like, dang, my eyes can't even process or keep up with what you're doing or how you're supposed to do it. My brain's like, how would you even know? But then I remember, it's like anything. You practice it enough, you figure out the pathing, routing, and then it becomes ingrained in your muscle memory. And yeah, so you get that down, and then it's like, oh, okay. But dude, that was wild watching you do that. I'm like, whoa. I was actually legit blown away. Yeah, no worries. Appreciate you dropping by. And I hope the rest of your day goes well. But yeah, that was just wild. I just want to let you know that before you left. Like, my mind was blown. That was super impressive. And inspiring. Whee! Da, 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 da. Wee. Yeah. Okay, now that I remember what room I'm in this time, should be a problem. It's because I was thinking ahead to here, even though we don't have that part. And, yeah. My brain got a little ahead of itself. This. That. Try that. There we go. Pretty safe strat, but that's not too crazy. That part's only dangerous if you just overthink it. Like your first time through, you might be like, well, how am I supposed to do that? But then it's like, that's pretty simple. Ooh, almost messed that up though. The dream blocks are really easy to kind of mess up your dashes on. Not because they're necessarily the hardest things in the world, but some of the angles, those are what'll get you. There we go. Wow, didn't mean to do that. I thought I wasn't going to hit it initially, so normally I dash back into it, and yeah. Damn, unfortunate. I want to set my PB because I was there earlier and I just messed up the dash. And of course, now that I think I know what to do there, I'm not making it back there because, you know, that's how that works. We'll get there though. If I slow down and just kind of take it room by room, that'll be a lot more consistent. And stop thinking rooms ahead of what I'm doing. It's easy to get caught up in that. Especially if you have a specific part you're trying to mentally prepare for. Like when you're trying to set a new PB and you're almost there, but you're not quite. It's like you're thinking way ahead to that room, meanwhile it's like 20 plus rooms away. Really, I should be focused on just doing bump. Popping up there. We are, Madeline, we are. My friend. Whee! There. Over here. Gee, that was close. Sometimes it just stays close, though. That's okay. Almost been on the spike instead of grabbing the ledge like I was supposed to do. Meow. There we go. Yo. Go. There you go. Okay, well, we got lucky there, but yeah, sometimes I have issues with that part. It's just the angle, and sometimes it messes me up. Or I overthink it. That can happen too, unfortunately. Kind of like this, you kind of have to time it and level it out a certain way before you can be sure you're going to make it. There we go. Do that. Yeah, okay. Whew. Breathe. Take your time. Damn it. I knew I had the angle wrong. It's just... I'm trying to get to a very specific room, a few rooms ahead of that, just to kind of freaking get the PB, and I think it's starting to make me nervous than it should be. It's like, dude, you're in practice, chill. It's not a big deal. But it's like, you kind of want to get that a little bit further, and that was... It's just one of those things, you know? I'm overthinking it. I really shouldn't be. Well, I can't help myself. PB, and I have the strat for the PB, I just have to execute it. Getting there, you start to get close, you get close. It's like almost, it's like whenever you get close to the end of levels in Golden, you overthink it. It's kind of like that, but it's just for the PB for some reason. I know once I do the PB, it won't be a big deal because I won't think about it, but, you know. Yes, sweet. Gotta go. I need to just take it out. Thank you. Part of that's because I want to practice certain parts ahead of that, and the only way for me to reasonably do it when I have the berry is to do it. So in the actual berry thing, so I mean, it's still easier to do it that way. Yeah, punk. Yes. Almost messed that up, but it's okay. You recovered. There we go. Cutscene. Yo. That's how you're supposed to do that, but a lot of times I'll end up doing the double because I'll mess up the initial spacing. So yeah. It happens. Thankfully, most of this is becoming fairly second nature to me, so it's not making me all nervous and weirded out. I get most nervous when I hit Oshiro's because he's stupid little dust bunnies, man. They're so freaking messed up, man. Well, almost messed that up, but it's okay. Wasn't exactly how I planned on doing it, but it worked out. Right? And that's what matters. Thank you. Battling. Appreciate you. Here I need to figure out my angles. Oh, come on, man. See, there it would have served me not to diagonal. See? That freaking Oshiro's place. I despise it. In all of Celeste, it's like, ugh, I don't actually despise them, just slightly like, hey buddy, how are you? Okay, this. Boop, boop. But his area is just one I always overthink, and it causes me all the problems. I would imagine I will die more in Oshiro's areas than I will anywhere else in this level, even the end. Because I just, at least until I can get it consistently, I just have trouble with those areas because the stupid back and forth spinning things are just brutal for me. Because I suck at timings, that's my problem. It's a skill issue on my part, I promise. Yeah. Whee! But it's more noticeable now because a lot of these other parts are becoming so much more consistent that I don't have to think about them. So when I get back to it, it starts to make me think, oh, I gotta redo the parts that I can sleepwalk through. Mostly. And then just to get back to that point, and then it's like you die, it's like, ah, damn it. Didn't need to happen, you know? We'll get there though. We will. We always do. Eventually. Whoop. There. Oh, that's okay. Water. Didn't mean to do that. I don't know what I was thinking, but it worked out, so yay! That's close. Ooh, that was really close. Messed that all up and got lucky and got through. But that's okay. Sometimes that's what you gotta do. Green blocks. Whee! There we go. Getting back to it, for the most part, is pretty whatever. It's not that bad. It's just once I get to know Shiro's part, it's more nerve-wracking than it probably should be for me. Only this room right here. It's not my PB when I get through here, it's just one of those things where, yeah, you see that. Yeah, that's doable, but also, you know, you come so close to not making it. This room, it depends on how I land there. Okay, now we're back to my area where I have the worst times. Oh, finally. Okay, cool. New PB. Yay, that's all I wanted. Okay. Literally brand new. Like, I've never been this far on the Golden Run, so it's kind of cool. It's a little nerve-wracking, but doable. Ah, damn it. I thought I was further over. But that's good. That's good. That's a PB. That makes me feel a little better. Although, it kind of sucks to die at a part really just goof on, but that's okay. Still feels good to have actually gotten through the one room I stuck at every time, so that should help ease the nerves for the rest of it. Good. It feels very good for me. You know, something that feels good about setting a PB. It's satisfying. Getting a little bit further. Just checking something real quick. Sorry about that. I know, hanging on there and I have limited stamina. My bad. Whee! Good, do that. Here, dash over there, jump there, dash there, jump, jump, bump. Honestly, half the battle is just learning your pathing, like where you need to go next, instead of accidentally winding up in a strawberry room. You actually go the right way and end up where you're supposed to go. Do that. Ooh. These. Real quick. There we go. Whee! Fly up in the air. Gonna take a walk while I can. Mm-hmm. We got this. We got this, don't worry. Waha! Overthought that for a second, but we made it. I do that a lot in that room. Like I said, thankfully that room's pretty recoverable overall, even when you do overthink it. So you don't run out of dashes anyway. Set up the downward dash. There we go. The diagonally downward dash, I guess. But that's what I mean when I talk about that. You can clearly see the direction I'm taking, so I figure people know what I mean. It's all about the angles, y'all. Bum 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 bum. Nice try, sneaky ones. Whee, sneaky ones! There we go. Come into here. That's becoming a lot easier to time out. Which definitely feels good. Just gotta remember to time that. Ooh. Wow, new PB. Yay, everybody. We're sort of doing things. Okay. Oh yeah, this part. It's all about the timing. I know, my nemesis, the timing, right? Damn it, I meant to... Yeah, I should have dashed through the way I was originally going to do. That's okay, though. New PB again. Look at that. Becoming more consistent. That is amazing. Honestly, if you just take your time a little bit with those guys, it becomes a little easier to make it through Oshiro's domain evil. I was actually pretty close to the end of it, so I'm not complaining. That was actually pretty good. Some of those rooms and his are really long, though, so that can create problems. You're always having to worry about timing. Timing in this place. But, we're getting there. We're getting there. So I'm pretty happy with this. With the progress we're making in practice today. Definitely got me feeling pretty good about it, overall. And eventually we'll get Oshiro's down pretty consistently, and we'll be worrying about the next area. We all know how that can be. I think the next one was the Golden Ridge, so... That's where they introduce wind, doesn't it? And then the area after that would be the weird, confusing one with the caves and the dash demon dudes. And the one after that is where they introduce Kevin blocks. And then, of course, you get to this. I think the last 30 meters, which is more in line with this level's theme of the actual mountain. I mean, the whole thing's the actual mountain, but, like, you know... But some of those places are really hard as you go further in. Whee! I mean, naturally, that's how it's supposed to work, obviously, but it's supposed to get harder as you go along, but still. Some of them are reasonably harder sometimes. Like, you really have to get the point. Unless you want to go back to Oshiro's all over again. Which, let's face it, I'm going to have to do a lot before I get this level down to that consistency. The way I look at it is, it's good practice either way, right? So it's all good. Pretty good about this practice day. I'm feeling pretty good about it, so... Wow, 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 wow. I'm being weird. Woo! Dash here, 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 dash. Up. Get ready. Boom. Alright, yeah, we timed it right that time. There we go. Made that run infinitely easier. Once you have the pathing figured out, it's mostly pretty straightforward. Pathing's half the battle in these golden runs, especially in the bigger levels. Just knowing which way you want to go and how to approach each part. And the exact strats you want to do to set up certain angles for certain things, and, you know, usual golden run stuff. Anyone who's done them understands almost immediately what I'm talking about. But even if you haven't watched it enough, trust me, you'll get it. This place is becoming wildly more consistent. So, that's actually a good feeling. I'm sort of starting to get the timing on that part, but it's not exactly where I'd want it to be, but definitely getting there. This is just a matter of timing that, and then just doing one of these hops. This part, it's timing the dashes in and out. As long as you can do that, you're good. Then you can just waltz over here. Most of Oshiro's is just timing. That's really what it boils down to most of the time. Timing and making sure you have your setups right. You know? Just like that. I didn't expect to do that. That's okay. But yeah, even those rooms are a lot easier once you start getting used to them. I almost had another PB, but that's okay. Didn't quite make it that time. That happens. They're becoming more consistent though, so that's a good thing. So before you know it, we'll be running through Oshiro's pretty consistently, and then we'll have to worry about Golden Ridge. And all the crazy wind stuff. Still very doable, it's a lot of practice. Whee! That over here, here, bonk. All right, do that. Alright, that's done. Do that. Grab this. Whew, sounds like that might be an ambulance or a fire truck. That's probably an ambulance, actually. Ah, damn it. Should have dashed into it. I took a path slightly off from what I usually do. Like in the way I do that. That's okay though. Not a big deal. Gonna make it, probably give a few more attempts and then I might stop for the day soon because I might have to eat lunch. I got some other things I gotta do and I've been going almost 3.5 hours now, so it's gonna get hot here soon, so I want to turn on all the fans and shit, so you know. California summer things. I don't want to be boiling on trying to play this. But, I'm gonna go ahead and say in advance, thank you to everybody who hung out, all the new people I met. Appreciate all y'all who lurked. Always appreciate you. Never feel like, your lurking is any less worth than people chatting, because in my opinion, lurkers are the backbone of streaming. I appreciate you all. Whether you talk or you sit there and lurk, I greatly appreciate you. I'm still gonna go a little bit longer, but I will eventually stop because I'm starting to feel I'm getting hungry and I'm starting to feel myself getting that kind of screen a little bit, and you're doing something that requires a lot of focus and concentration, your brain starts to kind of like, that leads me to be more prone to just silly mess ups, so if that starts happening a lot, I'll probably stop. Go for too much longer, but if it doesn't, I'll go a little longer and maybe try to see if I can set another PB. We'll see. I don't know. Depends on how it goes. I mean, it's only practice, so it's not a big deal either way. But it feels good to set personal best, right? Whee! And getting that consistency from my muscle memory certainly doesn't hurt. It's always a good thing to do. But I'm noticing myself do things a little different on certain parts I'd normally do second nature, so the mental fatigue's starting to set in. It's okay though. Well, it's better than yesterday. I had to kind of stop on it a lot earlier than I intended yesterday. A, because I just need to figure out what I was going to do next on it, but also because I had a bunch of allergy issues yesterday. I was so spacey. I was like, what the heck? It got better as the night happened, and the allergies kind of settled down a bit and disappeared. But up until then, man, I was like, whoa, space cadet because of stupid allergies. I hate allergies, man. Freaking annoying. And they can make you just basically not functional some days, and it's just, that's a very frustrating feeling. That's all I'm going to say about that. There we go. That's how you're supposed to do it. Well, I did that a little bit long, but that's well enough to get through it, so. A lot of this is just kind of like, oh. Not even thinking about it, I'm just doing it. Let the fingers do what they do, because they know. They know better than the brain right now, because they're just used to the muscle memory of it all. So let them do whatever they want to do. Typically, you're going to be okay. Once you start getting used to it and your muscle memory like actually begins to kick in and take over. I'm not talking about just any old time, but you know. Once you've done rooms long enough that you're like, oh, okay, I kind of got the pattern and stuff that I need to be doing here. Yeah. That stuff. Alright, got that going. There we go. That isn't how I typically do it, but it works, I guess. Whee! Dang, we're already back here, huh? There we go. That used to be a really hard room for me, and now it's like I don't have to really think too hard on it, and all of a sudden you're done with it, right? That's the beauty of practice with this game. Is generally, you know, I kind of knew when I dashed I was just too close that time, but generally speaking, you can get through things pretty easy. I might try this one more time, maybe two, and then I'm probably in stream, so. But yeah, thank y'all for hanging out. I appreciate you. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna need to stop stream soon. I'm clearly no reason for that to have just happened, but we're gonna give it another go anyway because that was so rude. Oh, yeah, thanks, Logic. Appreciate you. Yeah, 6 AG, man. That was an experience. Now I'm just practicing 7 right now, but I will say it felt really, really good to get through 6A Gold when I finally did do it. I was riding that high all through the weekend. Still am, really. It felt good. I hope you're doing alright today, Logic. Hope your day's been going alright, treating you okay. And if it isn't, I hope it gets better. Glad to hear it. I'm glad you're good. I don't know, I say I'm gonna stop, and the next thing you know, I'll be sitting here making lunch and just like, oh, I'm still going. Let's do this. That's over here. Put there. Got that. Yeah, it was last Thursday. About an hour and 20 minutes into the stream, that's when we got 6A Gold. Yeah, no worries, thank you. I appreciate you dropping in and saying hello. And the congrats. I appreciate it. I hope the rest of your day or night, you know, wherever you might be, I hope that it goes wonderful for you. Whee! There we go. I don't know if I'm probably about to stop, so I don't know if I'll do it this stream, but I don't think it'll... I'm hoping it won't take as long as 6. I guess it just kind of depends on how particularly the ending parts get adapted to, you know, because that's very easy to mess up. When I was doing just normal runs to recollect all the normal strawberries for this file, I was having some issues on certain parts of just 7A, well, or not gold, just like 7A in general, and I was remembering the parts that I had all the troubles with. A lot of them are in that last 30 meters. Yeah, boom, there. Nope. That. That. Meow. Here. Dash through. Line. Up. Make sure you line that up right. Now we're good because we did. Here it's double dash, dash up, diagonal dash down, dash up. Boom. Jump. Split. Do that. Kind of diagonally, and then straight, then drop, then dash, jump. Okay, yeah. This one's pretty straightforward, just that. As long as you keep it moving there, you're good. You don't need to do anything too crazy. Hop, bam. So Shiro's, on the other hand, that's a little trickier. But I am starting to see the consistency, so that's good. Might take a few times, but it does feel good to kind of see that. Had to correct my mistake there. It's the beauty of it though, right? There we go. Not exactly how I wanted that to go exactly, but it worked out. There we go. Almost mistimed it, but that's okay. Got a little ahead of myself. Alright, let's be careful here. This is... There we go. There. I thought you climbed all the way up and you didn't. Why? Okay, give me a sec. I need to start lunch. Alright, started the water for lunch. Keep this going for now. Practice. Yay. Amazing the fluidity and the control they have in this game. It's really, really good control-wise. I think that's part of the satisfaction of it all. It's really got a good control scheme. They're smooth is what I'm getting at. They're smooth. Even on the parts where they feel almost swirly like the feathers, overall it's pretty smooth. I rarely feel like when I die, like it's anyone's fault but my own. Just kind of what I'm getting at. Which is nice. It's nice to have that level of control, especially a platformer. Yes. Ooh, almost messed you up. I might need to remember to actually grab there, or sometimes I forget and then I almost kill myself. Whoops. Almost got spiked. Ooh, almost messed that up too, but it's okay. You know? Far to learn it, sometimes you just oopsie. You know, you just have issues. There we go. we go. Grab the ball. There we go. Yeah. Probably shouldn't do it that way. That's actually not recommended, but it works. As long as you time it right. There we go. I was just trying to make sure I had that timed out right. I don't want to go if I don't feel comfortable with the timing because, yeah, obviously, that's how you get killed in these parts. Like here, for example. Really have to make sure I have my timing, but if you do it and you're calm, you can get through it pretty easily. And I say that as someone who was dying there constantly just earlier in the stream. Damn it. Done. I messed up. Ah. Why you can't mess that stuff up? Unfortunately, it's very easy to do. Like, incredibly easy to do. Which is silly because it's not actually a complicated or technical jump compared to most of the other stuff I do without thinking about it. But it's easy to not entirely grab or, you know, miss your grab. Don't. And that's how I know I'm also starting to get that kind of mental fatigue because I'm just messing up on things that normally I don't have to think twice about. That just comes with streaming challenging game for long enough in a row, and after a while you kind of like that. Sometimes you can kind of second wind it after a while, like you get through that mental fatigue and you're fine, but you know, even with coffee, I already don't sleep a lot, so that probably plays a factor. I sleep enough, but I don't sleep a lot. It's usually 6 hours on average a night, something like that. Which is fine, but enough of those nights you eventually crash. Then you do get a good night's sleep, and then you go back to not sleeping for a really long time properly. Insomnia is fun like that, kiddos. No matter the form it takes, right? There is a very scary form of insomnia I always worry about that can just happen. That's rare, but that terrifies me that I'd like not to think about. So we're gonna think happy thoughts, right? Just focus on this. Oh no, you don't. It's a little too soon there. There we go. You. Her. See that? Wee. Ba-dum bum 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 bum. I love how she just yeets you and bonks you right there. It's like, okay, bonk to the head, I guess. Hold up, I gotta grab something. Give me a sec. had to grab the water from my noodles and pour it and let it steep. Figured I'd take a bathroom break and all of that. Whee! Get my eyes a little bit of a break too. I feel like I don't blink enough a lot of times when doing this kind of stuff. My brain's just like, don't blink. Damn! That was dumb. That was completely avoidable. Oh well. It happens. But, yeah. Sometimes you still beats, even after the break. Through here. There. And that. Whee! There we go. It's not even the stuff I die on is really necessarily hard, up until Oshiro's. But it's just that, you know, I just be goofing now because I've been at this almost, what, 4 hours almost? Yeah, about 3 hours and 40 minutes. Of just practicing it over and over. You know, it happens. Tomorrow is Hollow Knight, obviously. I gonna probably have to think about what I need to do next in it. Because I have some bosses I missed that I need to go back and do. Got a few other things. I cannot believe I just did that. Well, see, it's a big fat night. And I'm hungry, so that's not helpful. But yeah, anyways, I've got some things on Hollow Knight I need to figure out, because we're at, I think, 88% right now. Out of a possible 112%, so we're getting there, but we're not there yet, and it is causing some things. Like, it's causing me a lot of, where do I even go next now? You know, more so than usual, so it kind of slows things down a lot, so that's a good thing, but it's also like, I need to know where I'm going. And that game gives you almost no hints as to where to go next, especially after a certain point. When it opens up a lot toward the late game, it's like, oh, you just kind of go and hope you find something. Which is both awesome, but at times can be a little like, oh shit, what do I even do now? Especially for me, I'm already a terrible navigationalist. I'm horrible in navigation, in real life and in games, so... But I love Metroidvanias, so I like getting lost. But my problem is, I'm streaming, and it tends to slow things down a bit if I'm just standing there lost forever, trying to figure out where I'm going. I'm doing my best not to look anything up really, unless it's absolutely necessary. So it's like, because obviously half the fun of Metroidvanias, or Soulsmanias, or whatever, is being lost and figuring that out. It was rewarding, you know? Thankfully I have an awesome chat who often will be like, hey, try this area, if I get too stuck, so I'm grateful for that. The one good thing about being on 7A Golden is it means I don't have to do 8A Golden yet. So in some ways that's kind of motivating to not get through it. I do want to eventually do 8A Golden, obviously. I'm just not a fan of 8A and B as much as I am some of the other stuff. They're my least favorite levels in the game, 8A and B. I don't hate them, but I don't necessarily have the most love. 8C is different, it's a lot more fun in my opinion, but 8A and B, they feel very all over. I know they're not RNG, but there's a lot of places that feel that way. I know it's cycles and learning those, but sometimes it doesn't go the way you want it. And it just feels kind of like, dang it, we're doing this again. Less so than levels like this, where I am just having a blast kind of flowing and flying around normal. There's a lot of obstacles in the 8A and B that make it feel more RNG, and I know it's not RNG, I'm aware of that. It feels that way a lot of the time because of just the nature of the obstacles and how they operate. And the consistency of some of them, like the stupid treadmills that sometimes they fling you up the proper way, other times they don't do it at all, and you can never really tell, which is a problem whenever you need to actually get heated or you'll die. So yeah, not my favorite levels, but that's okay. I'm better at them than when I was in the beginning. Even just playing through them normally, I notice I don't die nearly as often, but it's still a big pain. Ooh, that was almost messed up, but that's okay. We made it. We out here. Do that. Bounce. Jump over there. Alright. Do this again. Ooh, that was close. Incredibly close. Really didn't expect it to be that crazy. Worked out though. I guess that's what ultimately matters. There we go. Always feels so weird trying to make it through this. Not so much that part as this stuff. I get kind of weird. There we go. New PB, guys. New PB. Whew. This part I can kind of do because... Oops. Whew, that was close. Oh my god, we made it through Oshiro's. Still riding that PB high. Whew. Well, nothing else. Certainly pleased with the progress we made there, right? Oh, damn it. I knew that was going to happen. Missed time. That's okay, though. I'm probably going to end stream. I got to eat. Getting a little hot. Want to turn on fans and stuff. But I just want to say thank you all. Thank you to everybody who dropped in, chatted. Thank you, of course, to everyone who lurks. And we'll be back tomorrow morning with Hollow Knight. Hopefully with a better game plan than I had once I ran out of where I need to go next on Monday. So hopefully we'll make a little more progress. But that's okay. Either way, it's fun. And I thank you all. So have a great day, night, or, you know, wherever you might be, whatever your time zone may be. I hope you have a lovely time. Thanks so much. Peace.